On day 1, I spawned in as a land shark, the most awesome carnivore ever. I'm a real fish out of water. I've got 9 hearts from the start because sharks are naturally born tough. And even though I'm tiny, I still have a bite. Looking around, I saw that my starting area was a desert, or should I say, a sea of sand. But there aren't any other sea creatures anywhere. I wanted to go find some fish to eat, so I started swimming through the land in search of a nice meal. Da-dum, 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 da-dum. I eventually ran into another animal, but it was a tarantula. I heard that they were poisonous, so I didn't want to eat it, but it definitely wanted to eat me. That's no way to treat the top of a food chain. Wait, am I even at the top of a food chain? I swam away from the tarantula and soon discovered that I had the ability to dive inside of sand blocks to hide. I stayed under the desert surface until the tarantula got bored of looking for me and moved on. Then I popped back up out of the sand. I didn't expect other things would try to eat me today. While I was thinking, a coyote tried to snack on me too. It took off a few hearts, but this time I fought back. As I expected, my bite packed a real wallop. I celebrated my win by chowing down on some coyote meat. It wasn't that tasty, but at least it kept my hunger meter full. I'd look for something better to eat tomorrow. Until then, I'd take shelter inside of a sand dune. On day 2, I resurfaced and went on to explore the desert in search of materials. At a nearby oasis, there was a grove of palm trees. I bit a few of them down and collected the wood they dropped. Ugh, that tasted gross! This is why I need tools in the first place. I got sick of biting trees pretty quickly, so I crafted a wooden axe to cut down enough of the remaining trees that I could make a complete set of wooden tools. While I was chopping, an octopus fell down from one of the trees. That was definitely the last place I expected an octopus to be. But then again, I was a land shark.
What's the big idea? Can't a guy hide in a tree peacefully without getting knocked down?
Sorry, buddy. I had no idea you were up there. What is an octopus doing in a tree anyway?
It's not safe to wander out in the open out here. There are huge spiders everywhere, and they're looking for me.
I thought spiders and octopuses got along. You have so much in common, like having 8 limbs and… that's about it.
We most certainly don't get along, and I suggest you find a place to hide too. The spiders out here are looking for sharks too. Sharks like you.
So they were hunting me, but why?
I've said enough. I need to find a new place to hide. Good luck.
The octopus ran away, but not before dropping some healing potions. He must have been prepared for the worst. I felt a little bad about taking them, but if he hid well enough, he wouldn't be needing them. On day 3, I decided to make the desert oasis into my base. I may have been able to swim on land, but having a source of drinking water around was never a bad idea. So I started chopping away at the rest of the palm trees to clear out an area where I could create my own personal retreat. Suddenly, a wild emu came bounding across the desert towards me. It was surprisingly fast and aggressive, but I was hungry, so that didn't stop me from taking a bite. The bird's attacks did a bunch of damage, so I was grateful for my higher starting health. Emus are trouble. If only I had heavy artillery. A couple bites later, and the emu was defeated. It also dropped a delicious golden drumstick. That looks yummy. I gobbled up the drumstick and felt myself begin to change. I became a bigger shark, and my bite damage increased to be as strong as an iron sword. My already great number of hearts also increased to 17. I tried my ability to dive into land on the grass blocks and found that I could now dive into those too. I bet this works on all kinds of blocks now. Now I can explore the terrain safely. I spent the rest of the day constructing my resort. It was made out of the palms I chopped down earlier. I also added a room for myself. To protect myself from mobs, I decided to also include a fence that surrounded the entire resort. On days 4 to 5, I went out to catch some rabbits to keep at the base for a steady food supply. I was a carnivore after all. I spotted some hanging around by some cacti, but a tarantula scared them away. Didn't the octopus say that those tarantulas were looking for me? I decided to get to the bottom of this and confront the spider directly. I hid and waited until he got close, and then I popped out of the ground to ambush him. I gave him one bite to show him I meant business, and then I gave him a piece of my mind. Hey, what do you want with us sea creatures anyway? The tarantula was startled by my ambush, but chuckled like he was remembering a secret.
You'll find out soon enough, Taste Shark. Sous Chef has promised us tarantulas a bowl of her famous soup if we bring a land shark to her.
Sous Chef? Who is that?
You mean you don't know? She's only the fanciest and most renowned chef in the entire world. Her seafood cuisine is legendary, and very soon you are going to become a part of it.
But I'm not a seafood. I'm a land shark.
Then let's see if your flavor is the same.
The tarantula struck back with a bite attack that left me poisoned. I was taking gradual damage to my hearts from the after effects. That's one lousy status condition. I need to finish this quickly. My enhanced bite did the trick. A couple of those were too much for the tarantula, and he was no more. That's what you get for poisoning me. Even after the fight was over, I was still affected by the lingering poison damage, but thankfully, I had enough hearts remaining to wait for it to wear off. The total was way more damage than I was expecting. I even had to use a couple of healing potions I got from the octopus. I was lucky I took that tarantula by surprise. If he had ambushed me instead, that could have been it. I returned to the base to wait for my heart meter to regenerate. On days 6 to 8, I searched a nearby forest for some materials to craft an antidote to tarantula poison. I had a feeling that yesterday wouldn't be my last tango with those spiders, and I wanted to be prepared for next time. I found a patch of some plants with healing properties, which I could use to replenish my potions, but they wouldn't be able to neutralize the poison itself. I don't like it, but I think I need to capture a tarantula and study the poison. After that, I started flopping my way back over to the desert I'd made my home. I made my way across the dunes until I saw a tarantula, then I dove under the sand to hide. It didn't seem to notice me, so I waited for an opportunity to strike. But just then, another mob swooped out of the sky and attacked the tarantula. Whoa, what is that thing? It was a tarantula hawk, the tarantula's natural predator. It looked really tough, but it was distracted because it was fighting the tarantula. I emerged from the sand and took the tarantula hawk by surprise. The fight was won before it even began. Sharks are problem solvers. The tarantula hawk dropped something that would solve my poison problem, a rare poison resistance potion. I ate the whole thing in one bite. Hooray! With this, I won't take any extra damage from the tarantula venom. On days 9 to 10, I explored some nearby hills, which I could mine for stone and other sturdy blocks that couldn't be found in the desert. I had fun trying out my dive ability on a bunch of different surfaces. While I was diving, I fell into an area where a lot of carrot plants were growing. I'm going to take these and replant them at my base. Those rabbits will have to eat something before I eat them. As I was pulling up carrots, I felt like someone was behind me and turned around. It was a girl. She was dressed as a chef and carrying a really big knife. I hoped it wasn't who I thought it was.
I, sous chef, have found myself another shark, and I thought the only ingredients out here were carrots.
Oh no, it's exactly who I thought it was. See ya.
Wait, come back. Eh, sharky.
Even though I was bigger, I was still just a fish. And a fish doesn't pick a fight with a chef. It never ends well. I swam as fast as I could until I lost her, and then I dove into the stone. For some reason, it was trickier this time. That's when I realized there was another shark trying to hide. Unlike me, this guy was a hammerhead shark. I bet building stuff is really easy for him.
Boy, am I glad to meet you. I thought I was the only shark left.
So did I. If you don't mind me asking, do you know where all the other sharks went?
That sous chef you just saw has been rounding up our kind and turning us into soup for her restaurant.
Soup? Oh no, I hate soup. And I'd hate being in it even more. She must be stopped. On days 11 to 12, my new hammerhead friend and I went back to my base. I made him his own room to make him feel right at home at my aquatic animals resort. Because stairs are really difficult to climb for finned boys like us, I decided to build in some pillars that we could use to swim up and down between levels. I was out getting more material when I was attacked by a giant snake. Let's hope my poison resistance works against snake venom too. The second it sunk its fangs into me, I was badly poisoned. My hearts were reducing quickly, so I ran back to base and started working on a new way to counter the venom. I knew that honey could help with curing poison, so I went and found a hive of desert bees, which I carefully transported to a safe location near my base. Now I have all the honey I need to avoid getting sick. I went back to fight the giant snake, and thanks to the honey and my healing potions, I was able to outlast it in a battle of bites. The snake dropped a rattle when it was defeated, and I had a feeling this was the key to building my poison resistance. I combined the rattle with some of the flowers and honey I had collected earlier and crafted an extra strength poison resistance potion. I drank it immediately. I'll bet I can become immune to all poisons if I keep making potions like these. On days 13 to 15, I was fast asleep in my shark bed when I remembered something from long ago, before I was even a baby land shark. It must have been a memory from a distant land shark ancestor. Back then, all of us land sharks swam through the desert together in a big group, or a shiver of sharks. There was always plenty to eat, and we always shared with each other. But one day, an army of tarantulas showed up and started capturing the sharks and their sticky spider webs. They dragged my ancestors to a huge cooking pot where sous chef was waiting.
Très bien. With this latest haul, I'll have shark fin soup to serve in my restaurant for years to come.
She was talking to an even bigger spider next to her, who appeared to be calling the shots for the tarantulas.
Boss, when do we get some of the soup?
You'll wait your turn. The other humans will get to sample my cooking first. Then maybe your spiders can have a chance.
Okay. Whatever you say, boss.
Now, let's get cooking.
I woke up from that terrible nightmare before I saw all the land sharks go into the cooking pot. That would have been far too scary for me, no matter how tough of a shark I was. How horrible! Now I know why there are so few of us land sharks left in the world. If sous chef had an army of spiders at her command, maybe it would be better for Hammerhead and I to keep ourselves hidden instead of going after her. On days 16 to 19, I was searching around the base for Hammerhead and couldn't find him. Hey Hammerhead, where are you? Are we playing hide and seek? There was a note left on my crafting table, so I read it.
Dear Zozo, I'm going hunting for some more food. If I don't come back before tomorrow, it probably means that I'm in trouble. Please come looking for me. You're the only friend I have in this world.
So that's where he is. He's in trouble. It had been at least a day since the last time I saw him, so going to look for him would be a good idea. I decided to go find my way to this trouble place he mentioned. Sure enough, it turned out to be a town for bandits and outlaws to the west of the desert. This place sure does look like trouble, but if my friend's here, I can't leave until I found him.
Hey, Zozo!
Hammerhead! You were easier to find than I thought.
I said I was in trouble, and here I am. Let's go drink some milk at one of these saloons. I'm paying.
We walked inside one of the saloons and saw that there was a fight breaking out between some bandits. It seemed like a group of them were ganging up on one guy. Hey, that's not fair! Leave him alone!
Sharks!
The bandits screamed and ran away. I guess the sight of a big shark and his hammerhead friend was all it took to scare them off.
Thanks for the help, fellow sharks.
Huh? You're not a shark, you're a human.
That's where you're wrong. I'm a card shark, the slickest card player in the West. Here, have this crown as thanks for saving me.
As soon as I put on that crown, I grew up again and had 22 hearts. I also gained a pretty sweet dash attack. Thanks, card shark.
Did you both come to trouble to hide from sous chef? I do know a rumor that you might want to hear.
Are we sure we should trust this guy?
Let's hear him out before we judge him.
There's a legendary poisonous spice called the chef bane, which is said to ruin a cooking pot forever. If you sprinkled some of that stuff in her soup, she'd be forced to give up cooking. Then all the sharks would be safe.
Wow, and you're really telling the truth?
Trust me, kid, I know a thing or two.
Even though it had seemed hopeless before, I now believed that there was a way to stop sous chef for good. All I had to do was find that chef bane. On days 20 to 22, Hammerhead and I returned to our base and found it under attack by those same bandits we scared away in trouble. This time though, there was a whole lot more of them, and they were throwing dynamite.
This will teach you nasty sharks not to mess with us bandits.
Oh yeah? Well, we're gonna teach you nasty bandits not to mess with us sharks. Right, Hammer?
Right.
Hammerhead and I worked together and took on the bandits as a team. We fought hard against the crooks, but our teamwork was too much for them, and we took them out. I was feeling so inspired by our teamwork that I had an idea. I should add a statue to the base. Things were coming along nicely, and I made some good progress on the first part. You can sort of see what it might be. I'd need to add some blue materials to get the statue's color palette just right, so I started mining to see if I could find any lapis. It would be a long way down, but I had to start somewhere. Once I gathered some stone, I decided it was time to upgrade my pickaxe. So I returned back to the base, where I crafted a stone pickaxe, which would help me mine much more efficiently. And if you want to be more efficient in finding my videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you can find my channel easier. On days 23 to 26, Hammerhead and I teamed up again when our base was attacked by some super tough rock mobs. Uh-oh, those look like straddlers. We were able to defeat them, but their skin was so tough that a bunch of our teeth fell out.
Jojo, my teeth fell out.
Don't panic, friend. They'll grow back. As for the ones that fell out, I decided to craft a bow and make the lost teeth into shark tooth arrows. Time to go spider hunting. I I hid in the desert with my dive ability and waited for some tarantulas to pass by. And when they least expected it, I jumped out and sniped all of them before they could even react. Now I can gather all the venom they dropped and make myself even more resistant to poison. I went back to the base and did just that. I had just enough time to drink another poison resistance potion before I heard someone outside asking if anyone was home. I answered it and saw that there was a frilled shark at the door.
Pardon me, is this arrow yours? I found it while I was hiding in the desert.
Yes, it is. Thanks for returning it.
Also, would you mind if I stayed here? I've got no home and there's a chef looking for me.
Of course you can. That same chef is looking for my friend and I too. We'll be safer if we stick together. I then added another floor to the base to make sure that frilled shark felt right at home. Then I added some guard towers next to the fence to make spotting incoming enemies easier. On days 27 to 31, I went back to the town of Trouble so I could get some more information out of the card shark. He was willing to do it, but only for a price.
I'll sell you this enchanted cookbook for some of your teeth. It'll tell you where you might find all sorts of ingredients, including the chef bane.
Just my teeth? You've got a deal, mister. I gave him a full set of shark teeth. In exchange, he gave me the cookbook. I opened it up and saw that one of the first locations listed inside was the Great Pyramid of Pizza. It appeared to be some kind of restaurant for rich mummies. I had a good feeling about what I could find there, so I swam off to the part of the sand sea where it could be found. When I arrived, I saw that the entrance to the Great Pyramid was guarded by a crypt keeper. He was standing next to a sign that said, "No sharks allowed." Yeah, that's not gonna stop me. I fired some arrows from a distance to draw him away from the door. Then I dove beneath the sand so he wouldn't know where I was. When the crypt keeper was looking around confused, I sprung up from the sand and gave him a big bite. He hit me before running back towards the door, but with my dash attack, I was able to bite him again and get inside the pyramid before he could stop me. He tried to follow me in, but I dove into the pyramid blocks and disappeared. He eventually gave up and returned to guarding the entrance. On days 32 to 35, I entered the grand dining hall where the mummies were being served their pizza. I used my diving ability to sneakily make my way around the room. I was hiding under a table when I saw a flying fish on a platter. It looked like he was being served so raw that he was still alive. I decided to ask him if he knew anything. "Excuse me, do you know anything about a spice called chef bane?"
Yep, I've heard of it. Sure wish I had some of it right now, so I wouldn't get eaten.
"Do you know where I can find some?"
Quiet down. The celebrity chef is about to make her appearance.
Celebrity chef? Oh no! Sue Chef entered the dining hall and rang a bell to call everyone to attention. She had tarantula bodyguards with her.
Attention, diners. I am Sue Chef, and I will be your celebrity chef this evening. Our special is...
She looked down and saw me under the table.
Shark soup! Get that rotten shark!
Yikes! Sue Chef and her tarantulas ran towards me, so I used a dash attack to catch her off guard. She struck back with her cooking knife and sliced away most of my hearts. I would be sashimi if I took another hit like that, so I decided to improvise. Actually, tonight's special is tarantula salad. The mummies hungrily turned towards the tarantula bodyguards and started to attack them.
No, it isn't! Stop this!
I made a break for the exit. I hate to dine and dash, but this time I had to. While I was on my way out, the flying fish flew after me.
Wait, take me with you. I'm a carnivore too.
That's good enough for me. Welcome to the team, Mr. Flying Fish. On days 36 to 39, I convinced the others to let the flying fish stay inside of our base with us. What do you say, fellow sharks?
I thought this base was only for sharks who are hiding from the chef.
He's a fish, and we're sharks. Won't he be afraid of us?
It's fine. He can eat the rabbits we've been farming, and we have plenty for all of us. Once that was settled, I went to my room and consulted the enchanted cookbook that I got from the card shark in order to search for a new location to travel to in my search for Chef's Bane. Let's see here. The Great Pyramid of Pizza was a dead end. Oh, maybe I'll have better luck in the Marshmallow Swamp. Me and Hammerhead then proceeded to do some more work on the statue. The design was really starting to come together, thanks to the lapis lazuli I had been mining. On days 40 to 43, I was on my way to the Marshmallow Swamp when I thought I saw another land shark nearby. Hello there, my name is Zozo. Do you need a place to hide? The mob that I thought was a shark turned around and I realized that he was actually a dolphin. A land dolphin.
I'm good, thanks. I was just in the area looking for a heart of the sea. It's a kind of treasure usually found in the ocean, but for some reason, they can also be found on land in this place. It's pretty odd,
said the land dolphin to the land shark.
point is that I did find a treasure chest with a heart of the sea inside, but there was a terrifying mantis shrimp guarding it, so I chickened out. They're all yours if you're brave enough.
Thanks for the info, Dolphin. Best of luck in your travels. I went to the place where the dolphin said he found the chest, and sure enough, the mantis shrimp was right there. Mantis shrimps were known for their lightning-fast attacks, so I knew that I had to rely on my toughness. I launched a few arrows before dashing into battle and biting away. The mantis shrimp knocked me back with a powerful strike, which did 5 hearts worth of damage, but that left him wide open. I drank a health potion and attacked him while he was recharging his attack. I did this a few more times before the mob finally fell. Alright, the heart of the sea is all mine. The door to the treasure chest opened up, and I rushed in. When I opened the treasure chest, there were some prismarine blocks inside, along with the heart of the sea. Once I collected them all, I used them to craft a new shield with some of my spare shark teeth. This shield of the deep could provide me with some defense, while also draining health from enemy mobs. On days 44 to 49, I made it to the marshmallow swamp. It definitely lived up to its name, as there were white marshmallow blocks floating all throughout it. I took a drink from the black water, and I realized that it was coffee. It gave me a temporary energy boost and increased the distance of my dash attack. There were a bunch of pink oozes jumping around the swamp, so I used them to test out both my enhanced dash and my shield of the deep. Once I was done cleaning up the slime squad, I heard a cry for help from the swamp. It was a platypus.
Help! I wanted a drink of coffee, but I started sinking.
Don't worry, I'll help you. I dove straight into the coffee and rescued the platypus before swimming both of us to shore. It was unusual for a land shark to be swimming in liquid, but I was very grateful that it all worked out.
I, Platric Platypus, owe you my life, Sir Shark.
Please, call me Zozo. I'm on a quest searching for a legendary spice called the Chef's Bane.
Chef's Bane, You've come to the right place. You may not know this, but we platypi are experts in all things poison.
You are?
Absolutely. We're venomous creatures too. Chef's Bane is the ultimate in poisonous ingredients, but you won't find any in this swamp. We'll need to go somewhere a lot more tropical. Follow me.
With that, Platric began to lead me out of the marshmallow swamp. I felt like I could trust him, so I decided to follow him. On days 50 to 53, Platric and I arrived in a tropical region south of the marshmallow swamp. I checked the inside of the cookbook and saw that this area was called the Banana Pepper Beach and was known for growing the spiciest peppers ever known.
Look alive, Sir Shark. We're on the lookout for a very special purple pepper, which is a key ingredient for Chef's Bane.
Purple pepper, Platric. I'll positively peek around every part of this place until I've pointed it out.
Say it, don't spray it.
We split up and searched for hints of the purple pepper. I ended up at the seashore. Wow, I just realized that I'm a shark who has never seen the ocean. I didn't have time to think about that because I noticed the crypt keeper from the Great Pyramid of Pizza running towards me. I guess I interrupted his vacation. We fought, but this time I had my shield. After a few hits, he realized his health was being drained and he ran away. He won't bother me again. A little later, Platric and I reunited. It seems like neither of us had any luck finding the purple pepper.
We'll keep trying, Sir Shark. In the meantime, have a potion of poison resistance. You'll want to be practically immune when we find it.
I gulped down the potion and felt its effect make me even stronger against poison. On days 54 to 57, I returned to base to make some improvements. After swimming in the coffee swamp, I was eager to turn the oasis pool into a more tropical habitat. So I planted some banana trees to spice up the place. With the trees in place, I decided that the pool needed a diving board, so I added that along with some decorations to make it feel far more relaxing. Now I'll be a land shark and a water shark, master of both worlds. Hammerhead, grilled, and flying fish all enjoyed using the diving board too. It seems like the base was becoming more than just a hideout. It was our home, and we were family. Eventually, Frill came over and approached me.
Oh, hi Zozo.
Hey there, Frilled.
I noticed that you built the Shield of the Deep. It looks like it protects you really well, and I was hoping you could make me one too.
I would, but I need to go find another Heart of the Sea. Maybe the cookbook knows where I can find one. I returned to my room to look at the cookbook, but it wouldn't reveal the locations of the Hearts of the Sea. But it would let me know where more mantis shrimp were. It was just a hunch, but I decided to give it a shot. I made my way over to a nearby cave where I figured another mantis shrimp might be hiding. I managed to find another chest like the last one, but this time it wasn't even guarded. Lucky me! I looked inside, and there was another Heart of the Sea! Soon after, I crafted another Shield of the Deep and gave it to Frill. Thank you, Zozo. Here, I have some serrated teeth I can spare. If you equip them, your bite attack will be able to drain health, just like the shield. It's an incredible upgrade. Thanks, Frilled. You rule. I put those chompers in, and I could already feel more awesome. Or should I say, jawsome. On days 58 to 62, I was making some really great improvements to the statue. It's really starting to come together. Can you tell what it is yet? Just then, I noticed that the base was swarmed by tarantulas. The tarantula leader that I saw in the flashback was there as well, so it looked like this was a planned invasion. But how did they know where we were? I thought to myself and remembered the cookbook. Card Shark, he must have sold us out. Hammerhead was right not to trust him. I ran towards the base to help the others defend it. Frilled and I both had shields of the deep and draining bites, so we could restore our health even as we faced getting swarmed by tarantulas. Oh no, this poison is taking a real toll on me. Right, I forgot. I'm the only one immune to poison. Go get some honey and cure your poison, Frilled. I'll go help Hammerhead. Hammerhead was the one I was the most worried about. He wasn't immune to poison either, and on top of that, he didn't even have a shield. By the time I got to where he was, Hammerhead was being dragged away. Hammerhead! He called out to me while the spiders took him away.
Make sure Card Shark pays for this.
Don't worry, buddy. I will. And then we'll come save you. I was so afraid. There was nothing I could do. My best friend had just been kidnapped. On days 63 to 66, I returned to the Village of Trouble in order to get back at Card Shark for selling the rest of us out. I barged into the saloon where he usually hung out and saw him in the middle of a card game. He wouldn't be for long. Hey, Card Shark, I need to talk to you.
Yeah, well, if it isn't my old shark friend, I'm surprised to see you here, and alive.
You know why I'm here. You betrayed us.
Now, remember the good times we had. I gave you that cookbook, remember?
Your cookbook didn't help me at all. All it did was lead me to a bunch of dead ends. The purple peppers to make Chef's Bane weren't even where they were supposed to be.
Of course they weren't. The Spider King already picked them all, so that no more Chef's Bane could be made. It was part of his deal with Sous Chef, and this is part of my deal with her.
He started throwing poker chips at me like arrows. I raised my shield and blocked them. Then I dashed in and gave the Card Shark a well-deserved bite.
Good one, but I'm tougher than that. I am a shark, same as you.
No, not anymore. He tried punching me, but I followed up with a harsh draining bite and defeated him. That was for Hammerhead. With Card Shark defeated, I left Trouble and followed the many footprints that tarantulas left in the sand. I hoped the Hammerhead was all right. I don't know what I'd do if he got turned into soup. On days 67 to 70, I tracked the tarantulas to Cobweb Castle. I knew that Hammerhead could be here, as well as the purple pepper ingredients needed to make Chef's Bane. There were a whole lot of tarantulas around, but I was a whole lot of shark, and their poison wouldn't work on me. I fought my way to the throne room and found Hammerhead restrained in a web.
Zozo, is that you?
Don't worry, Hammerhead. I'm coming to help you. I moved closer to the throne when suddenly the King of Spiders dropped down from the ceiling.
2 sharks for the price of 1. The boss is gonna be extra happy with me.
The boss is never gonna see you again, Spider King. Not unless you get out of our way.
Big talk for a silly little shark. Let's go.
I leaped at the King of Spiders and started biting his long, scary legs.
Ow! Is this what being bitten feels like? Can't believe I've been doing this for years.
The jagged shark teeth were too much for him. The Spider King ran off, leaving through a pathway. After that, I freed Hammerhead by shooting an arrow that destroyed the cobweb prison he was in. Hammerhead, let's check where the Spider King ran off to. Maybe the purple peppers are in there.
Good idea, Zozo.
From day 71 to day 74, Hammerhead and I entered the secret pathway that the Spider King had left through. On the inside, there was a creepy dungeon waiting for us.
Whoa, this place looks so spooky, Zozo. I don't want to spend too long here.
It'll be worth it if we can find the purple peppers and make the Chef's Bane, Hammerhead. But we were already too late. The purple peppers were gone, and there was a note from Sous Chef herself left in the empty dungeon.
You underestimate me and my minions, Zozo. Did you really think I'd just leave the purple peppers here? Silly little shark. Only a chef of my caliber would know what to do with such an ingredient. I'd say I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it's actually very funny to me. I'll see you at dinner, my dear.
Me and Hammerhead were devastated. All this work and risk for nothing.
It's okay, Zozo. At least you saved me. Let's go back to the base and figure out what to do next.
From day 75 to day 78, I brought Hammerhead back to the base. I didn't want any more spiders to invade us at night, so I put up a new layer of defense. Hopefully a little fire will scare those creeps away. That's when Hammerhead approached me and gave me an enchanted book. What's this, Hammerhead?
It's the sharpness enchantment, Zozo. It'll make your shark teeth extra sharp and dangerous.
Oh, heck yeah, just what I need. I went inside and applied the enchantment book to my teeth. And I got those extra sharp teeth just in time, because the king of spiders who narrowly escaped in the cobweb castle was back, and he meant business. Time to end this once and for all. As the king of spiders ran in, I lunged forward and chomped him. In one bite, he was finished off, and that made me level up. I grew into a land great white with 25 hearts and the water speed ability, which made me twice as fast in water. Even though I'm a land shark, this might come in handy later. But that wasn't the only thing that the king of spiders dropped. He also had a note, which I picked up and read. It must have come straight from Sous Chef.
Once Zozo has been destroyed, find the straddler in the forest. You know what to do.
I was starting to get really sick of reading notes from Sous Chef, but at least it could be a valuable lead. From day 79 to day 84, I searched the forest for the straddler. If he was somehow connected to Sous Chef, he might be able to give me some information. Straddler? Straddler? Hello? That's when the straddler emerged out of the forest, looking irritated.
Yeah, I'm the straddler. What's it to you?
I've heard that you might have something to do with Sous Chef, the villain trying to turn me and all my fishy friends into soup. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, of course I know about that. I've been trying to take her down for years. Maybe we can team up.
That sounds great.
But first, you see that cave next to me? I need you to grab a secret weapon I left inside.
I turned and saw a cave a few feet away, and there was a secret weapon inside? Perfect. I'll be right back, Straddler. I went into the deep, dark cave and was surprised to find inside was nothing. Could there have been some kind of mistake? I went back and saw the straddler standing in the mouth of the cave.
Sorry, kid. I worked for Sous Chef all along. You really shouldn't be so trusting.
He fired several arrows, and one of them even hit me. It was a tense moment, but I pulled out my own bow and fired back with even more accuracy. After a few arrows, the straddler was defeated, and I was alone in the cave. Whew, I really do need to be careful about who I can trust. On day 85 to day 89, I returned to the town of Trouble to meet somebody I thought I'd never need to talk to again. The card shark who, after I'd beaten him, was taken and locked up in the town jail. Thankfully, he was allowed visitors. I flopped down into the jail to see him.
Zozo, what the heck are you doing here? I didn't think you would ever want to see me again after what happened to your friends.
I figured after everything that happened between us, you owe me some information I can actually use.
I'm not gonna tell you nothing.
How'd you like it if I bit through the door of this cell and asked you a little closer?
Okay. What do you want to know?
Where can I find and defeat Sous Chef?
Find is one thought, defeat is another. You can find her in her kitchen on the Mushroom Island. But I warn you, Zozo, if you go to that island, you ain't coming back.
We'll see about that. This shark is never going into anybody's soup. And with that, I left the jail. There was no time to waste. From days 90 to 94, I worked on some new items and upgrades to my base. I can't take on Sous Chef without the best of the best of the best. I added a bunch of new upgrades to increase the effectiveness of my bow. The power enchantment that increases damage, and the punch enchantment, which increased the knockback power of my arrows. Hope you like your food spicy, Sous Chef. And also, to give myself a little extra boost, I made myself a few potions. A potion of healing, a potion of regeneration, and a potion of swiftness. And sharks aren't exactly fast, but this should offset that. I'm sure to win now. On day 95 to day 97, I finished the statue, a giant blue land shark, just like me. I'm very happy about how it turned out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. It made me realize something. In all of my time here, I'd only seen a handful of other sharks. There used to be so many land sharks out there, but now, because of people like Sous Chef, they were all gone. I couldn't let Sous Chef wipe us out. I needed to protect the land shark legacy and give our people a future. I'm gonna take you down, Sous Chef. You've made your last shark soup. On day 98, it was time to prepare for the final battle. I gathered all my friends together, the hammerhead shark, the frilled shark, and the flying fish. Guys, this is it. I'm gonna fight for the freedom of sharks, and all fish. If I don't come back, then find Sous Chef on the Mushroom Island and defeat her for me. That's when Hammerhead Shark, my oldest friend, stepped forward.
Wait up, Zozo. I'm not gonna let you go alone.
Hammerhead, it's dangerous. She's gonna try and turn us to soup.
That's exactly why I can't let you go alone. Let's go together and finally finish this thing.
On day 99, Hammerhead Shark and I swam across the ocean until we reached the Mushroom Island. Let's go, Hammerhead. No time to waste. The island was guarded by particularly creepy creatures, mutant spider pigs. They spotted us and started to crawl towards us.
What are we gonna do, Zozo?
Don't worry, Hammerhead. I have a special weapon. I pulled out my fully upgraded bow and started firing, knocking back the mutant spider pigs. Look at that. I'm biting you without even touching you. Ha!
Zozo, over here! I found some prisoners!
I went to where Hammerhead was and saw that he had found a cage full of blobfish that Sous Chef had captured. You help them get back to the base, Hammerhead. I'm gonna defeat Sous Chef once and for all.
Good luck, Zozo. I believe in you.
On day 100, I continued alone across the Mushroom Island, looking for Sous Chef and her evil lair. Along the way, even more mutant spider pigs started rushing towards me. I used my upgraded bow to quickly dispatch them and clear the way. Will you guys get out of the way? I'm looking for your boss. After defeating the last few mutant spider pigs, I saw a secret chest on the island, with a sign next to it saying, Secret Ingredients. Hey, that sounds useful. I searched through the chest until I found a bottle labeled Potion of Evolution. I immediately added it to my inventory and kept moving. Soon enough, I found Sous Chef's true lair. She'd mined a huge crater into the ground and filled it with lava. It was the ultimate soup boiling pot, and Sous Chef was there, throwing ingredients in.
Welcome, Zozo. You're just in time. I've been working on the ultimate soup, but it's been missing something. I think it could really use a little shark to really make it pack a punch.
Oh, I'm here to pack a punch, Sous Chef, but it won't be in your soup. Sous Chef started to laugh at me, and as she laughed, she grew bigger and more powerful. She also equipped a huge diamond sword. This must have been her final form.
Big talk, but nothing to back it up. You don't even have the Chef's Bane. How could you possibly stop me?
Things have changed, Sous Chef. I used to want the Chef's Bane. Now, I am the Chef's Bane. I remembered my friends and got a surge of power and started to grow and change. I wasn't a land shark anymore. I was Land Megalodon, the biggest and most powerful shark in history, with 30 hearts. You wanted shark? I'll give you more shark than you can handle. I lunged at her. She tried to hit me with her diamond sword, but her sword was nothing compared to my razor-sharp Megalodon teeth.
Ouch! I was meant to eat you. You're not meant to eat me.
She tried to hit me, but I kept lunging forward and biting her. Sous Chef was stumbling backwards, losing her balance. You look a little tense, Sous Chef. Why not take a dip and cool off? With one more push from me, Sous Chef fell backwards and landed in her own soup. She was finally finished. I threw the Potion of Evolution into the fiery pit, which caused it to level up and change into obsidian. Now no shark will ever be cooked here again. With Sous Chef gone, I returned back to my base, where the hammerhead shark, the frilled shark, the flying fish, and the blobfish were waiting for me. Want to head out for a meal to celebrate our victory?
Sure, anything but soup.
On day 1, I spawned in as an elemental shark in the middle of a tropical rainforest. And before I could understand what any of that even meant, I was surrounded by a gang of terrifying fire elementals, led by a massive magma golem.
Looks like we got him, boss. The last elemental who wouldn't bend the knee for ya.
What? I feel like I'm missing something here. Everyone laughed at me for saying that, and it definitely didn't make me feel good. The magma golem was the only one who remained steely and serious.
I think I'm missing something too. I'm missing the part where you swore absolute loyal to me, Magnus, the magma golem, lord of the elementals.
Who made you Lord of the Elementals? I've never even heard of you.
I made myself the lord, and if you don't bow to me, I'll make you into shark elemental sushi.
I think I'd rather make myself scarce. Before the magma golem or his fire elementals could attack me, I used one of my elemental powers to warp out of there and run away as fast as I could. As if this day wasn't stressful enough, as I was running away, I got incredibly hungry and didn't have any food. Could this get any worse? The only food I could find in the tropical rainforest was some apples, but it was being guarded by an angry earth elemental. Would you be down to share one of those apples with me?
No, these apples can only be enjoyed by servants of Magnus, Lord of the Elementals.
Is there anyone around here who doesn't work for this guy? I fought the earth elemental with my bare fins until I gave up and ran away. Finally, I was able to at least enjoy an apple. This is the one nice thing that's happened to me today. What's going on here? On day 2, I kept running through the tropical forest until I was convinced I'd lost the magma golem and his nasty gang of fire elementals. If there's one thing I can be sure of in this crazy, confusing world, it's that those guys are bad news. When I felt safe, I punched down one of the trees and made myself a wooden pickaxe. And with that, it wasn't hard to mine down into the ground and collect myself enough stone blocks to get started on a base. I think after all this craziness, I've really earned a roof over my head tonight. I used the stone and wood I collected to start building a base with a basic bedroom and living area, complete with a sofa and a couch. I also made myself a stone sword and a stone pickaxe. It wasn't much, but at least it was something. As long as that awful magma golem doesn't come and try to burn it down. But I soon wished I hadn't said that, because a few of the magma golem's fire elementals came blazing through the forest towards me.
You thought you could escape us, didn't you, kid? Nobody escapes Magnus or his minions. Sooner or later, you're gonna give in to his demands or be destroyed.
But why would I want to work for a guy like him? What is he even planning?
You're not important enough to know that. Come on, boys, let's torch him.
The fire elementals came for me, and I used my stone sword to fight them back until they were nothing more than ashes. I still don't understand what's happening here. What is this Magnus guy planning, and what part do I play in all of this? You better watch to the end if you want to help me find out. On day 3, I decided it was time to investigate what was going on. After all, if I didn't know the truth, I was at a disadvantage. I started exploring around the tropical rainforest until I found someone who wanted to talk to me about it, and that someone just so happened to be a scary-looking monster mushroom named Fungo. To my surprise, he was friendly. Please, Fungo, tell me about what the deal is with Magnus, the so-called Lord of the Elements. He's been hassling me ever since I spawned here.
Ah, that makes a lot of sense. You're a shark elemental, right? And as his name suggests, Magnus, the Lord of the Elementals, wants to get control of as many of the elementals as he can. And if you want to get them too, chances are the only way you're going to be able to do it is by taking the fight to him.
Defeat Magnus? Maybe if I get stronger I could do that, but why? I don't understand why he's doing this.
Well, take a seat on that log over there, buddy, because that's a much longer and wilder story.
So I did as I was told and sat down, but nothing could prepare me for what I was about to hear. From day 4 to day 5, I sat down and listened to the story Fungo the Monster Mushroom told me about Magnus the Magma Golem.
First, you need to understand that golems are always created by villagers. They are not natural creatures, and as such, they are completely at odds with the natural elements of the world. But when Magnus was created, he learned to hate his own unnaturalness. He was so frustrated by it that he wanted to conquer the elements and make them work for him. One by one, he subdued the fire elementals, the earth elementals, the air elementals, and the water elementals. Through their allegiance, he may be able to control all the forces of the natural world. And in order to defeat him before he becomes too powerful, you'll need to master all 4 of the elements and gain their powers.
Oh, just like in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Wait, you've seen Avatar? Sweet, that's gonna make all of this a lot easier to understand. Be careful out there, Zozo. If you can get strong enough and gain all these powers, you can save us all. But to help with the learning process, you'll need to find a mentor.
Do you know where I can find one?
Nope. Good luck.
From day 6 to day 8, with all the new information that Fungo the Monster Mushroom had given me stewing around in my head, I started making my way back to my base. So, I need to find a mentor. How can I track one down? It's not like they have a directory website, but my frustration and self-pity was interrupted by seeing an innocent swamp pig being picked on by more of those evil fire elementals.
Please, guys, leave me alone. I'm just doing my daily exercise.
Little piggy's trying to exercise. Hilarious. We can help you warm up.
Oh yeah, we'll fry your bacon. These are extremely insensitive jokes, guys. Please leave me alone.
But I knew they'd never leave that poor swamp pig alone. Not unless I made them. That's why I pulled out my stone sword and ran in to fight them off. Leave that innocent pig alone, you meanies! It didn't take me long to defeat them all and rescue the swamp pig from a fiery doom. Needless to say, he was relieved.
Thank you, kind stranger. I'm Sammy the swamp pig. You have done me a great kindness today, and I'll never forget it.
No problem, Sammy. I'm Zozo, by the way. Say, do you have any idea where I might find a mentor? I really need one to help me save the world.
Well, I did hear rumors about a great teacher who lived near water somewhere, but that's all I know. Still, I want to help you, Zozo. I really owe you one.
How about you come back to my base? I could really use some allies right now. I led Sammy the Swamp Pig back into my base and started building a new room in my base for him to stay in. And make sure you keep watching until the end, because the craziest parts are yet to come. From day 9 to day 10, I found a huge underground cavern in the tropical rainforest where I could search for rare materials. The deeper and darker I descended in, the more veins of iron ore I found. I mined and collected the iron ore and then constructed a furnace underground to smelt into iron ingots. Now it's time to make myself some awesome new equipment. I made a set of iron armor, an iron sword, and an iron pickaxe. And not a second too soon, as I heard something terrifying skittering around in the dark. I turned and saw a giant skulk scorpion crawling towards me, looking like it was ready to attack. And it turned out that it actually was. I tried to attack it with my iron sword, but it didn't seem to have much of an effect on the monster, which was as strong and fast as it was angry. In the end, I needed to use my location warping ability to zap out of there and run deeper into the darkness of the underground cavern. Can't see how this would ever end badly. From day 11 to day 12, all I could do was try to hide deeper in the underground cavern and hope that the skulk scorpion didn't find me down there. How am I gonna save the world from a powerful magma golem if I can't even defeat a nasty underground bug? Deep in the dark, my greatest enemy wasn't the skulk scorpion or even Magnus, the lord of the elementals. It was just pure boredom. So when I found a dusty old book, you can only imagine how relieved I was. I certainly never expected that this book would contain the secret to Magnus's rise to power. It was filled with strange Latin text, but then I opened the book to a section called the 3 Enforcers. It described 3 terrifying and powerful golems who worked for Magnus: the Bone Golem, the Diamond Golem, and the Bedrock Golem. These 3 golems were vital for keeping all the elementals in line, and if I was able to defeat all 3 of the Enforcer golems, Magnus's control over elementals would probably collapse. Now I know what I need to do. If I defeat the 3 Enforcers, defeating Magnus afterwards would be easy. But I was celebrating a little too loudly. Suddenly, a vicious fire salamander, a powerful underworld creature, ran towards me. He was a tough mob to defeat since he shot flames at me. He had something that looked like an organic turret protruding from his back. A truly bizarre and scary mob, but with the knowledge of what I needed to do fueling me, I was able to do it. And this gave me enough XP to level up, becoming a bigger, stronger elemental shark with 18 hearts and the ability to breathe fire. Looks like I've mastered 1 element, 3 to go. Keep watching to see what I evolve into next. From day 13 to day 15, I returned to my base, bigger and stronger than ever before. And when I was back, I saw that Sammy the Swamp Pig had made an awesome addition to the base while I was gone, a whole new floor. Whoa, Sammy, this room looks so cool. What exactly is it?
Look, it's a lounge area, Zozo. You need to stay relaxed if you want to be in harmony with the 4 elements.
An excellent idea, Sammy. Do you have any news on where I might be able to find the mentor I've been searching for too?
I've heard of some strange activity near a pond deep in the tropical rainforest. Maybe that has something to do with it.
On Sammy's advice, I ventured out deeper into the tropical rainforest until I found the pond and what looked like a crimson wizard waiting outside it.
Stay back, Elemental! I will not serve your master!
He fired an energy blast at me that took off a few of my hearts and prepared to fire another. Wait! You don't understand! I'm an elemental, but I don't work for Magnus! I'm trying to defeat him. I'm just looking for a mentor that will help train me to stop him.
Oh, I see. Sorry about firing an energy blast at you there, old chap. You can't be too careful these days with Magnus and his minions around.
It's okay. I understand. So, can you mentor me, Mr. Wizard?
I'm afraid that isn't my area of expertise, but I also wish to stop the diabolical Magnus. You and I can work together to make that a reality.
It never hurts to have magic on your side, I guess. Come on back to my base with me. Let's work together.
Lead the way, Elemental Shark!
I set off back towards my base with one more ally in tow. From day 16 to day 19, I returned to my base with the Crimson Wizard. Because Sammy the Swamp Pig figured I might be returning with a mentor, he'd already built a room for the Crimson Wizard. My base is practically becoming a hotel. I should start charging people.
I'd be happy to pay. This room looks wonderful.
Before you get too comfortable, Crimson Wizard, I need some advice. Do you have any idea where I should go next in my quest to master the elements and take on Magnus?
Good question, Zozo. Personally, I would suggest the Mojave Desert. To master all the elements, you must first experience them all.
That sounds like a good idea to me. Time to go. After a couple days of traveling, I'd reached the Mojave Desert and started searching around for any clues as to what I needed to do next. The last thing I expected was to run into a talking desert cat. Hey, little kitty, do you have any idea what I can do to help defeat Magnus, Lord of the Elementals?
Meow. Magnus? You mean the magma golem? I think some of his henchmen are around here, just a little further west in this very desert. Maybe go defeat them, and I'll see whatever information I can provide afterwards.
That's so convenient. Thank you, Desert Cat. From day 20 to day 22, following the cat's instructions, I went further west into the Mojave Desert. It didn't take me long to find a gang of rowdy air elementals who were just itching for a fight.
Hey, look! It's that elemental shark who defied the orders of Lord Magnus.
Yep, that's me, but I'm not here for you small fries. That'd be a waste of my time.
Small fries? Oh, buddy, you are gonna regret saying that.
They flew over to attack me, but I was ready. With my iron sword, I cut them down and defeated each one of them until I was the last one standing. Or so I thought. Turned out, one of Magnus's head enforcers, the Bone Golem, had been sneaking up behind me. I turned just as the Bone Golem hit me, taking off a shocking number of hearts. Immediately, I was fighting for my life, striking him with my iron sword, but it wasn't having any effect. He was so confident, he started throwing his own bones at me. I needed to pull out the big guns and use my elemental powers on this nasty, overgrown skeleton. Fire breath, go! I breathed a powerful jet of flames onto the Bone Golem, finally defeating him. And with that, I was a third of the way to bringing down Magnus and his empire of evil. From day 23 to day 26, I went back to tell the Desert Cat about my success. Hey, little kitty, I found those henchmen and I kicked their butts.
Meow, that's great news. Those jerks kept making crazy wind and messing up my fur. Now I can nap in peace without worrying about any air elementals bothering me.
So, what can you tell me about Magnus, and how can I defeat him?
Well, Magnus doesn't like to fight his own fights. He prefers to have his henchmen take care of that for him. So if you can defeat all of his elemental goons, he won't have anyone left to fight for him, and he'll have to face you himself.
I guess I just need to make sure I'm strong enough when the time comes.
Meow, that sounds about right. Oh, before I forget, maybe you can use this.
The cat gave me a potion of power. Thanks, I can definitely use this.
Glad to hear it. Now scram, it's my nap time, and I just found the perfect sunny spot.
You got it. I left the cat and continued walking through the desert until I found a new area. When I got there, I was jumped by some earth elementals.
Say, it's the wise guy who thinks he can defy Lord Magnus. Let's get him, boys.
Not if I get you first. Fire breath, go! I blew a blast of fire at the earth elementals and followed it up with an attack with my iron sword. Pretty soon, all but one of the earth elementals was defeated.
Wait, if you let me go, I can give you some information.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, Lord Magnus's headquarters is guarded by earth, air, and water elementals. Is that helpful?
Yeah, get out of here. He ran away, and I took the moment of victory to drink my potion of power. When I did, I gained 24 hearts, evolving into an even bigger version of myself. And I gained the Earth ability. I can shoot an Earth charge that leaves behind a pile of dirt on the ground. Looks like I just mastered Earth. 2 down, 2 to go. From day 27 to day 31, I headed back to my base. On the way there, I passed the pond again. There was a diamond golem there, waiting for me. He attacked me, and I tried to fight back, but he was way too strong. In the end, I had to run away before he dealt me too much damage. That was a close one. I was scared he'd chase after me, but finally I made it back to my base, safe and sound.
Wow, Zozo, look at you. You're so big and strong.
Indeed, your stature is most impressive.
Thanks, guys, but I'm not done yet. I've still got 2 elements left to master, and I need to get way stronger if I'm gonna defeat Magnus.
Still, you must take time to celebrate how far you have already come. Speaking of progress, I have a sense that there is something useful to you waiting at a nearby location, the Rainbow Beach.
Then I'd better get going and see what it is. From day 32 to day 35, I traveled to the Rainbow Beach to see what the wizard might have sensed out there. I sure wish magic would be more specific. Oh well, I guess that's just how magic is. As I was looking around, I spotted an iron golem up ahead. Hey there, do you know anything about Magnus?
Don't you ever say that name to me! How dare you bring him up in my presence!
Oh wait, I didn't mean to offend you. Before I could explain, he attacked me. I drew my sword and fought back, but he was really strong. Turns out though, so was I. After fighting for a while, it became pretty clear that we were evenly matched. Please, let's stop this and just talk.
You're lucky I'm getting tired. Fine, talk.
I get the feeling you don't like Magnus much.
Don't like him? That's an understatement. We used to be best friends a long time ago. One day though, he started getting obsessed with the elements. He wanted to control them, all of them. And when I tried to argue with him, elementals think they're so great. Huh, see how great they think they are when I find a way to control every element. What's wrong with you having one specialty? All I do is iron, but you don't see me complaining. That's because you're a loser, and I don't need to spend my time with losers. If you're not with me, you're against me. He knocked me out and left. I never saw him again. Pretty soon, I started hearing about what he was getting up to, and I realized that the friend I used to know was gone. His jealousy and hunger for power turned him into a villain.
That's terrible. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to master all the elements too. It's so I can beat him and stop him from hurting people.
If that's true, then that is a noble goal. I wish you luck, Mr. Shark.
Thanks. The name's Zozo. From day 36 to day 39, I traveled back to the tropical rainforest. I really need to upgrade my armor. Let's see what I can find here.
If armor upgrades you do seek, then it is to me that you should speak.
Who's there? And why are you rhyming? A monster mushroom jumped out from behind a tree.
Sorry, when I get nervous, I talk in rhymes. I know where you can get some upgrades. Lord Magnus's base is empty right now, and there are plenty of supplies to be found in there. It's not like he deserves them. You might as well take them.
Sounds good to me, but where's his base?
In the swamp surrounded by lava. Do me a favor though, if you see a big mean fire elemental running with a gang of other fiery jerks, would you defeat him for me? He tried to hurt me, and I'd rather he not get a chance to try again.
You got it! Thanks for the help! Following the monster mushroom's directions, I managed to make my way to the swamps and Magnus's base. From day 40 to day 43, I fought my way into Magnus's base. There was only a few wither skeleton guards, and it was easy to beat them. Then, I ran inside. Jeez, this place really suits the guy. It looks as mean as he is. I didn't have much time to look around because the diamond golem from earlier was inside. Uh-oh, this guy again. I've got to do a better job this time. I started with my fire breath, then followed it up with a sword attack. It was pretty tough, and I wasn't sure if I would be able to do it. But finally, I was able to defeat him. When the diamond golem fell, he dropped a whole bunch of diamonds. This is just what I need. Now I can go back to the base and upgrade my gear. I grabbed all the diamonds. Now I've got to get out of here before Magnus gets back. I may be a lot stronger than I used to be, but I'm still not ready to face him. Maybe with some upgraded armor and weapons though, I'll be closer to my goal. From day 44 to day 49, I traveled back to my base and got to work on upgrading my armor and weapons. Using all of the diamonds I got from that diamond golem, I was able to craft a diamond pickaxe, a diamond sword, and some diamond armor. Awesome, look at all this stuff. I feel more powerful already. Okay, back to exploring. I need to see what else I can do to improve and work toward mastering those last two elements. I headed out into the rainforest and started exploring. As I did, I came across a group of fire elementals. They didn't see me at first, but I could hear them.
You guys remember that loser mushroom that got away from us before? I think I know where we can find him and finish the job.
Nice! He was so pathetic! Let's go get him!
That's the fire elemental he was talking about. If I fight and defeat these guys, he won't have to worry about them anymore.
Wait, there's some shocky freak listening to us. That's the guy the boss told us about.
Yep, and I'm here to kick your butts. Using my new diamond sword, I was able to defeat those fire elementals in no time. This new gear sure is great. I can't wait to see the look on Magnus's face when he realizes I'm finally strong enough to take him down. But I can't get ahead of myself. I gotta focus on mastering water and air. Time to get moving. From day 50 to day 53, I traveled into the Red Rock Highlands to seek out new ways to master the elements. I feel like the Highlands can teach me air stuff, right? That seems right. Or maybe water. Is there water here? As I explored, I came across an open book lying on the ground. Inside it said, "I'm gentle enough to wash your hair, light enough to fly through the sky, strong enough to crack rocks." What am I? That doesn't make any sense. How can one thing wash hair, fly in the air, and break rocks? I don't get it. It took me a little while to think about it, but suddenly it came to me. Wait a second, it's water!
That's right, Zozo.
An earth elemental jumped out at me.
Guess you're smarter than you look. Too bad you'll never get a chance to master water because Lord Magnus sent me to take you out.
Out to dinner?
No, out of this world.
Oh no! I got my diamond sword ready and started swinging. I followed it up with some fire breath and the earth elemental crumbled. After the fight, I could feel myself getting bigger and stronger. I'm evolving again! As I got stronger, I gained more hearts. Now I have 35 of them. I also gained the Ice Blast ability. I can freeze enemies in place with this. I guess I finally mastered water. Only one more to go! From day 54 to day 57, I returned to my base. The Crimson Wizard had a surprise for me. He built some protective walls around the base while I was gone.
As a token of appreciation for letting me stay at your home rent-free, I thought I might work on our defenses a little bit.
These walls look really nice. I feel safer already. Thanks!
No problem.
Now I'm feeling pretty good, but I know I need to get stronger and master the fourth and final element. I need some help. I wonder if there's anyone who can mentor me. I looked around the base for ideas, but as awesome as my new friends were, none of them would be able to teach me about fighting. Wait a second, that iron golem I met before was really tough and cool. I should go ask him if he can help me. I returned to the place where I met the iron golem and sure enough, he was there. Hey, it's me, Zozo. Remember me?
I do. How is your quest to master the elements and defeat Magnus going?
I've got 3 out of 4 down, but I still need to get stronger. Would you train me?
Train you to take down Magnus? It would be an honor. Let's get to work, Zozo.
From day 58 to day 62, I started my training with the Iron Golem. He set up a wall of blocks for me.
You see these blocks? Break them without touching them.
I'll try my best. I used my fire breath to break the blocks.
Now try to dodge my attacks.
He ran at me and attacked, and I dodged. He had me do a bunch of different challenges and training exercises. I had to run up and down the beach, go out into the water and swim back, and test out all my new powers. By the time I was done, I was exhausted, but I also gained more strength. Sweet! This will help my sword hit even harder. But I haven't mastered air yet.
Not yet, but you've made some great progress. I'm proud of you.
Thanks for all your help. You've been a great mentor. From day 63 to day 66, I went back to my base. When I got there, I saw a group of water elementals running away from the base. What the? Oh no! They had destroyed my base and destroyed some of the walls.
Zozo, help! These miscreants kidnapped the swamp pig.
No! I was able to catch up with one of the water elementals, and I hit him with my pile of dirt. Tell me where they took my friend, or I'll hit you again.
Zoinks! Don't do that! They took the pig to Lord Magnus's base. There's a prison cell attached to it. They're gonna throw him in there.
And I've got to get over there too. No time to waste. I need to save my friend. I'd let the water elemental go and set off toward the Wailing Garth to rescue the swamp pig. From day 67 to day 70, I traveled to Magnus's base on a swamp pig rescue mission. When I reached the swamps, I saw a big cage in the base, and there was the swamp pig trapped inside. Don't worry, I'll get you out of there.
Yeah, right. You'll have to go through us first.
The water elementals closed in around me, but I had a plan. Maybe I should give you guys the cold shoulder. I fired my ice blast ability at the water elementals, freezing them in place. Then I used my diamond sword to take them out one by one. The last water elemental dropped a key to the cage. Now let's get you free. I used the key to unlock the cage and let the swamp pig out.
Thank you, Zozo. I knew you'd save me.
What are friends for? Now let's get out of here before Magnus comes back. We ran back to the base together, and much to my surprise, when we got back, all the damage was fixed. Wow, who did this?
I did. I also added some guard towers so we can see threats coming if any more of Magnus's henchmen decide to attack us again.
Awesome, thank you so much. From day 71 to day 74, I wasn't sure what to do next. Can I learn about how to master air? I just don't know. Wait a second, there was that Skulk Scorpion I couldn't fight before. I bet I could beat him now. Maybe then I'll figure out what to do next. With my new plan to fight the Skulk Scorpion, I headed down into the underground cavern. Hello, Mr. Scorpion, are you down here still? Sure enough, there it was! The scorpion ran at me and tried to sting me with its stinger, but I fought back with a fire breath and my sword. Then I used my ice blast to freeze it and follow up with the sword to finish it off. I did it! I did it! Hey, look at this! There was a book on the ground. The Book of Exposition. What's it say? The answers you seek lie deeper in the cavern, but there you must face the bedrock golem. Well, who am I to argue with a random book? Let's go! From day 75 to day 78, I followed the instructions from the Book of Exposition and headed deeper into the underground cavern. There, I saw a group of earth elementals and a big bedrock golem behind them. Before I could say anything or attack, the earth elementals spotted me.
I've had enough of this clown. Why don't you just give up already?
Because what Magnus is doing is wrong, and I can't just stand by and let him get away with it.
Okay, then don't stand by. Just stand. Die.
The earth elementals rushed at me, but I was ready for them. I fought them with my diamond sword. Once they were all gone, I turned my attention to the bedrock golem. Now it's your turn. He was much tougher than the earth elementals. In fact, he was tougher than anyone else I had fought so far. I had to use all of my special abilities to knock him down and out of his misery. That was a relief, and good, because I felt myself evolving again. My hearts increased to 80, and I gained the ability Whirlwind Attack. I did it! I mastered air! I've got to tell everyone! From day 79 to day 84, I ran back to the base to deliver the good news. Hey, look! Look! I showed my friends my new evolved form and tested out my whirlwind attack for them.
Wow, Zozo, you're amazing!
Most impressive.
So now what should I do?
Excellent question, my friend. I believe the answers await us at the Red Rock Highlands. Shall we go there now?
Yes, let's go! From day 85 to day 89, the Crimson Wizard and I traveled to the Red Rock Highlands. Okay, we're here. Now what?
Let me see. I had hoped the Highlands would reveal the truth to me when we arrived, but it remains unclear. Perhaps we should see if we can acquire any additional items that might allow you to upgrade your gear?
Sure, why not? Together, we searched the area for cool items. I found some more diamonds and gathered them up. From day 90 to day 94, I was gathering diamonds while the Crimson Wizard headed back to the base. All of a sudden, Magnus appeared behind me.
Still haven't given up yet, I see.
Nope, and I never will. I finally mastered all the elements, and I'm coming for ya.
Oh yeah? How are you going to do that from underground?
What? What are you talking about?
The one element you haven't mastered. The element of surprise.
Magnus hit me hard, knocking my diamonds out of my hands. Then he got me again, knocking me out cold. When I woke up, I was in an underground chamber. Oh no, I'm trapped in here. What should I do? Wait a second. Magnus didn't count on me still having this iron pickaxe. I'll use it to tunnel out of here. I wasn't sure how long I'd been out, so I had to work fast and make up for lost time. I dug faster than I'd ever dug before until I broke through to the surface. Nice try, Magnus, but you can't get rid of me that easily. From day 95 to day 97, I started making my way back to my base. On the way, I was ambushed by a group of Earth elementals.
See? I told the boss burying him wouldn't work. Weeds always grow back.
I'm not a weed, I'm an elemental shark, and I'm stronger than you, and I'll prove it. I fought back, and with my mastery of all 4 elements, it didn't take long for me to beat them. I finished my fight with the whirlwind attack and blew them away. Awesome! Okay, no time to celebrate yet. I've got to get back to the base. On day 98, I finally made my way back to my base.
Zozo, where have you been?
We were worried about you.
Magnus surprised me and trapped me in an underground chamber. I had to dig myself out.
Monstrous.
That's awful.
It's okay, I'm totally fine. I made it back, and we still have time for me to use my mastery of the elements to defeat Magnus and restore peace. It's gonna be great!
You're right, Zozo. Gee, this sure has been a wild adventure.
And to see more adventures like it, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and search ZOZO!
Zozo, allow me to accompany you to Magnus's lair. There, you can finally end this nightmare for good.
On day 99, the Crimson Wizard walked with me all the way to the swamps and Magnus's base. He couldn't come with me, but I didn't want him to. It was important for me to face Magnus on my own. There, outside the base, were Earth Elementals, Air Elementals, and Water Elementals guarding it. I was pretty nervous at first because there were loads of them and they all attacked me, but I knew I could do it. I fought my way through the elemental guards, freezing them with my Ice Blast, burning them with my Fire Breath, and blowing them away with my Whirlwind attack. It took a while to get through all of them, but in the end, I managed. Phew, all that fighting made me hungry. Magnus must be anticipating me because he really did gather all the remaining elementals to guard his base. Now, let me find him. On day 100, I headed into Magnus's base to finally complete my quest. He was sitting on a throne, waiting for me. I escaped your trap.
So I see. I had a feeling you might. It doesn't matter. You're going to lose.
I don't think I am. See, there's something you don't get about the elements. They require balance. They're equal. None of them are better than the others. Elements don't have lords. They're all equal and work together.
Foolish words from a foolish shark. No more talking. Let's fight.
He didn't have to tell me twice. He didn't even have to tell me once. I was already getting my sword ready. I used my dirt ability to hopefully trap him, but he dodged it. He came back at me with an attack, but I dodged it and attacked again. All of a sudden, Magnus started shaking and growing. He evolved into a bigger, stronger version of himself right before my eyes. Uh-oh, I've got to step up my game. Ice time! I used my ice ability to freeze Magnus so he wouldn't have a chance to hit me with his new evolved strength. This gave me just enough time to use all the other elements back to back. Earth, fire, air! With all my powers combined, I finally defeated Magnus! It's over! Now we can all coexist in peace again! On day 1, I spawned into the middle of the Black Forest as HEROBRINE, Minecraft's spookiest phantom. Well, a baby version of HEROBRINE anyway. But why am I here? I was on some kind of altar with a sinister robed figure standing and staring at me.
Yes, my plan worked. This is the growing sign that my powers are growing.
Plan? Powers? Who are you? And what's going on here?
You don't know the name of your master, boy. I am Dorian, the drowned necromancer, master of the undead. And you are my servant.
Servant? I didn't sign up for that. I don't even want to be a ghost. I want to have a body.
What you want doesn't matter. Without me, you wouldn't exist. And unless I choose to give you a body in the next 100 days, your spirit will fade away into nothingness. Bow to me, boy.
Never! And my name is Zozo. With all my might, I jumped out of the altar and ran off into the forest as fast as I could. I didn't want anything to do with Dorian, the drowned necromancer, and his plan to get more power. I need to work on my plan. getting my body back. When I was convinced that I'd lost Dorian, I hid under a tree for the rest of the day. As a restless spirit, I couldn't even get any rest. Being HEROBRINE sure isn't easy. On day 2, I decided to further explore the Black Forest. It was dark and spooky, the exact kind of place that a scary spirit like me would be summoned. If I wasn't a ghost myself, I'd be afraid of running into a ghost around here. And, oh geez, I only have 5 hearts. I thought ghosts were meant to be more durable than this. But I didn't have time to wallow in self-pity for long, because a gang of frightening dreadliches emerged out of the trees. Why is everyone around here so eerie?
We serve our glorious master, Dorian, the drowned necromancer. He gave us new life, so we owe everything to him.
Oh, that's just my luck! And I guess you want to kidnap me and take me back to him for his sinister plans?
Huh. We didn't expect you to already know this. I guess it saves us some explanation time at least. In the name of Dorian, we commandeer your soul!
The dreadliches punched me! With no weapons and very low health, I didn't have any hope of fighting back against them. Instead, I turned around and ran as quickly as I could. My soul, my rules! The Black Forest seemed dark and infinite, so at least it wasn't difficult to lose those nasty liches. The downside was that I'd gotten lost myself, and as I wandered through the forest, getting more and more creeped out, I ran into a siren!
Oh, another ghost! How exciting!
Wait, you can see me?
Of course I can see you. I'm a psychic. Sarah the Psychic Siren, General Services. Pleased to meet you.
So, you're not going to try to steal my soul like everyone else I've met?
Steal your soul? Heck no! I'm a huge supporter of spirits' rights. Come with me, my new ghost friend. I'll introduce you to my boss.
Finally, having met someone nice, I followed Sarah the Psychic Siren through the trees. On day 3, Sarah led me through the forest until we came upon a small cottage. A sign outside read, "Psychic Services for all ghosts." Wow, I had no idea this kind of place existed, Sarah.
There are more ghosts in this forest than you think. It's got to be someone's job to take care of them and help them along their way.
Suddenly, the front door opened and a geomancer stepped out.
Zozo, meet my boss, Jerry the Geomancer. Jerry, I found Zozo here wandering through the Black Forest like a restless spirit. He needs our help.
Is that a fact? It's nice to meet you, Zozo. Tell me, how did you find yourself in this difficult situation?
To be honest, I'm not entirely sure. I was summoned and bound by this guy called Dorian, the drowned necromancer, and he told me that if I didn't serve him, I'd disappear in 100 days. It's got me pretty worried.
That's concerning. I've heard of many cases caused by this Dorian fellow, a truly dangerous customer. I'm gonna put Sarah on your case. She'll come and help you build a base and get situated. And together, we'll get your body back.
Thank you, Jerry and Sarah. I'm feeling better already.
Let's go, Zozo.
With the mission to get my body back decided on, Sarah and I journeyed further into the forest to get started. From day 4 to day 5, Sarah and I explored the Black Forest until we discovered an area with a nice, flat terrain. So, Sarah, what do you think we should do first?
I'd say cut down a few of these trees. That'll give you some of the wood you need to build a crafting table and a wooden pickaxe.
Great idea, Sarah! I cut down a tree and made a crafting table and a wooden pickaxe. From there, I mined enough stone to also create a stone pickaxe, axe, and a stone sword. It's difficult to hold this stuff, being a ghost, but I'll try my best.
That's the spirit, Zozo.
I cleared enough space in the forest to start laying down a basic base, collecting some extra wood along the way. It started off with a pretty basic setup, with just a room for me and a room for Sarah.
Oh, this is a nice setup, Zozo. I guess living with you technically means we're living in a haunted house.
Yeah, I guess so. Say, this is probably a pointless question to ask, but is it possible for ghosts to eat? Because I'm getting really hungry right now.
You're in luck, Zozo. I have an enchanted apple that ghosts can eat in my inventory right now. Enjoy!
Sarah gave me the apple, and I ate it. Instantly, I felt my power starting to grow. I had 20 hearts now, and I developed a new ghost ability, warping from place to place.
This is fascinating, Zozo. I feel so lucky that I'm getting to see it.
From day 6 to day 8, I went wandering around the nearby Twilight Valley, looking for more rare enchanted food. As a ghost, my ghostly hunger was really difficult to satisfy, and Sarah didn't know how to enchant more food. It kinda sucks to be a ghost. I still have a lot of the downsides of being human, plus a bunch of new downsides. But while I was wandering around the valley, I heard some commotion and ran in to see what was happening. Maybe I can help someone. In the distance, I saw a Vindicator Chef, one of the most powerful types of chefs in the world, being attacked by a nasty gang of skeleton vanguards. A chef, huh? What a stroke of good luck. I used my new ghost power to warp over there and pulled out my stone sword. With all my focus and determination, I fought all of the skeleton vanguards until none remained. It was only me and the Vindicator Chef.
You saved my life, sir. I owe you a great debt. What is your name?
I'm Zozo.
Zozo, a strong name for a strong hero. I am Victor, Victor the Vindicator Chef. And if you do a favor for me, I will repay your kindness by any means necessary.
That sounds like a good deal. What kind of favor would you like me to do?
Follow me, and I'll show you.
I followed Victor the Vindicator Chef deeper into the Twilight Valley, excited to get him on my side. From day 9 to day 10, Victor took me to a clearing in the valley where a huge mutant skeleton was waiting. Oh geez, that thing is a monster. You want me to defeat a mutant skeleton?
I believe in you, Zozo. Seeing you take down all those skeleton vanguards makes me completely confident in your ability to slay this beast. Go forth!
Thanks for the vote of confidence, Victor. I steeled myself as best as I could and warped over to the mutant skeleton. It immediately started attacking me, and I started attacking it back. But my attacks were barely doing anything, and its attacks were taking way too many hearts off of me. I gotta get out of here. I warped away from the fight and ran back to Victor, telling him the disappointing news.
Oh, well, I'm sure you tried your best nonetheless. I suppose we'll go our separate ways.
No, hear me out. I could really use a Vindicator Chef back at my base. You're the only type of chef who can cook the type of enchanted food I can eat. How about you stay at my base, and I promise I'll come back and defeat this mutant skeleton when I'm strong enough.
That sounds like a good deal to me. Lead the way, dear Zozo.
From day 11 to day 12, I returned to the base with Victor the Vindicator Chef. I know it isn't much, but it's home. I'm going to make you a room.
Thank you, Zozo. I'll get working on a little something of my own in the meantime.
I got to work, gathering up new materials, and started building a new little bungalow for the Vindicator Chef to stay in while crashing at my base. What do you think, Victor?
This is a nice little room, Zozo. Thank you. And you can come and see what I made for you, too. Go and check your room.
I walked over and saw that Victor had made a high-end kitchen in my base. Perfect for cooking up the kind of enchanted food I could eat. This is amazing, Victor. I'm getting hungry just looking at it.
But the kitchen is only one side of the equation, Zozo. I need some good quality ingredients. Perhaps we should build a farm on the base.
That's another excellent idea. I decided to build a little enclosure and went out into the Black Forest where I found a bunch of chickens. It wasn't hard to herd them back to my base. I can taste the eggs and fried chicken already. When I returned to my room to relax, I found that Sarah the Psychic Siren was waiting for me with some new information.
I did some research into Dorian the Drowned Necromancer, Zozo, and found some interesting information. He used to be a flesh and blood necromancer, terrorizing the overworld by raising the undead, until one day the people rose up and drowned him in the ocean. Somehow, Dorian returned, and he's been acting on his evil plans ever since.
Wow, this guy is really scary. From day 13 to day 15, I returned to Sarah once again and asked her what she thought I should do in order to get my body back.
Right now, Zozo, knowledge is power. The more we can find out, the more likely we'll be able to help you get your body back. Head out to the Twilight Valley and see what you can find out.
That's an excellent idea, Sarah. I journeyed out into the Twilight Valley, which reminded me of the time that I'd failed to defeat the mutant skeleton. Why is nothing ever easy around here? But my difficulties were only just getting started. One of the Dreadliches who worked for Dorian the Drowned Necromancer came from behind me, ready to fight me.
I serve my glorious master, Dorian the
Drowned Necromancer, yeah, I get it. Let's just fight.
Fine, but way to take all the fun out of this.
I battled the Dreadlich with all my might. He was a formidable opponent, but in the end, I defeated him all the same. And that gave me the XP I needed to level up again. I got bigger, stronger, rose up to 40 hearts, and gained a new offensive power, Lightning Strikes. Finally, some actually cool ghost powers. From day 16 to day 19, I found my way into the wooded Badlands, where I continued my search for any useful information that could help me defeat Dorian, the drowned necromancer, and get my body back. During the first couple days of my search through the Badlands, I didn't find anything, but on day 19, I happened upon a dusty, old book hidden out of the way. Yay, reading! I love that! But it wasn't just a fun reading experience that would engage my imagination, it was also a book that contained some critical information about Dorian the drowned necromancer. It read, like all cardinal undead, the drowned necromancer has a beard of ice. Therefore, he must spend most of his time in the freezing cold, and he has a severe weakness to fire. So that's 2 useful pieces of information. Dorian has a weakness to fire, and he must be hiding somewhere cold. I can't wait to tell Sarah about this. But my celebration was short-lived, as suddenly a couple of dreadliches ambushed me, trying to get revenge for their friend I defeated back in the Twilight Valley. Thankfully this time, I had the power of ghostly lightning in my hands. I fired some lightning bolts at the dreadliches until they were destroyed. I'm getting my body back no matter what. From day 20 to day 22, I continued through the wooded Badlands, feeling strong and confident about all the information I'd found recently. I ran into a nasty gang of hungry spiders and used my new lightning ability to zap them. These spiders are hardly a threat to me now. I decided that now was the perfect time to upgrade my gear, too. I searched until I found an underground cavern and looked around until I found some iron ore. I mined the ore and smelted it into some ingots, creating an iron sword and an iron pickaxe. Now I'm stronger than ever. Come to think of it, I have some unfinished business to take care of now. Remembering the debt I owed to Victor the Vindicator Chef, I returned to the Twilight Valley and hunted down that scary mutant skeleton I'd agreed to defeat. When I saw the mutant skeleton, I first unleashed a lightning strike, stunning it. Then I ran in and struck it again and again with my new iron sword until it was no more. A HEROBRINE always pays his debts. From day 23 to day 26, I returned to the base to let Victor the Vindicator Chef know that I had paid my debt to him by defeating the mutant skeleton.
I can see that you've gotten strong, just like you promised you would.
That's right, and I plan on becoming even stronger, Victor. They'll start calling me Victor too, because I won so many battles.
But that's my name, Zozo. Won't that get confusing?
True. I guess I'll just stick with Zozo. After my talk with Victor, I went to the underground cavern where I could mine for more iron. With my iron pickaxe, I was able to mine the iron ore in no time. In the same area, I found a treasure chest with a bunch of iron ingots that I could use to craft a full set of iron armor. I'm like a ghostly knight. I went back above and went to see Victor the Vindicator Chef again. He said he had some news to share with me.
Zozo, I've made an addition to the base that I think you might really enjoy.
He showed me a relaxation room that was perfect for ghosts like me. You did a really good job on this, Victor. We ghosts might not be able to rest in peace, but at least now we can relax about it.
It was no trouble at all, friend.
From day 27 to day 31, I was out exploring the same area of the wooded Badlands where I defeated the dreadliches. I came across a farmer who was jumping for joy at the sight of me. That's not the usual reaction people have for HEROBRINE, so I went over to ask why he was in such a good mood. What's got you so happy, Mr. Farmer?
It's because of you, Zozo. Those dreadliches were a real snake in my boot. But ever since you defeated them, I've had no worries.
Glad to hear it. Slaying evil monsters and improving lives is totally my thing.
Well, there is one small worry. When those dreadliches were still around, one of them scared off all my sheep. I needed them for wool.
I'll help you out. You can even come live at my base if you'd like.
That sounds pretty keen, Zozo.
I led the farmer back to the base, then set off through the Black Forest to find some sheep so I could gather the wool that the farmer was looking for. Taming them was easy enough, and soon there was enough wool to go around. Afterwards, I decided to do some decorating. These HEROBRINE banners will show the mobs that this base is home to one mighty ghost. With the decorations done, I found Sarah the Psychic Siren waiting inside.
There you are, Zozo. You have to leave the base with me now. It's an emergency.
What's going on?
Come on, I'll explain when we get there.
From day 32 to day 35, I left the base with Sarah and traveled through the Black Forest. Along the way, we were ambushed by a small gang of dreadliches. Boy, does this feel familiar.
I should have seen this coming. I am a psychic after all.
We serve our glorious master, Dorian the Drowned Necromancer.
They really do say it every time, don't they, Sarah?
They sure do.
Hey, don't diss our catchphrase, or we'll have to get mean. Well, meaner.
The Dreadliches began to attack, so I zapped them with my ghost lightning strikes. None of the Dreadliches I had fought before had seen that ability, so it took them by surprise, and I was able to quickly defeat them. We traveled on, and I soon noticed that Sarah and I had come to the place where Jerry the Geomancer had resided before. This time, it was completely destroyed, and the area was full of Dorian's Dreadliches. Hey, this is Jerry's place. Get out of here!
It looks like we were too late, Zozo. This is exactly what I foresaw in my psychic vision.
I knew what Sarah meant when I saw Jerry backed against a corner. He had tried to fight the Dreadliches on his own, but he was about to die.
Zozo, is that you? It seems I won't be able to see you get your body back.
Jerry, I'm sorry. We got here as fast as we could.
Don't worry about me. Dorian will surely pay for this. Make sure you and Sarah protect each other.
We will. Rest well, Jerry. I was so enraged by Jerry's death that I destroyed the Dreadliches with my lightning strikes until there were none left in the area. From day 36 to day 39, I made a return trip back to the Twilight Valley. It hadn't changed much since the other time I was here, but there was a fisherman at the local pond who I hadn't seen before. Hello there, I'm Zozo.
Well, hi there, Zozo. I'm fishing. Oh, I'm just kidding. My name is Fred the Fisherman, and I could use a hand.
Sure, Fred. What seems to be the problem?
I know I'd be able to catch more fish if I had some twilight worms as bait, but they're all way up there in the higher parts of the valley. Can you go get a couple for me?
You can count on me, Fred. I climbed up the terrain of the Twilight Valley, enjoying the view along the way. With all that happened recently, it was nice to gather my thoughts for a moment. The moment didn't last long though, because I was attacked by a giant. Even though it was big, it had gotten the drop on me. I took a few swings with my iron sword to make it think twice. Then I warped back a short distance and hit it with a few lightning strikes. I closed the distance back into melee range and finished it off with my sword. Soon after, I returned to Fred the Fisherman with the bait he was looking for. Happy fishing. Hope you catch a big one.
Thanks. I only came here to the valley because the fishing in the ocean ain't that good anymore. Ever since that drowned necromancer rose from the sea, people have been afraid that he might have left a curse on it.
He is really evil, that Dorian. A curse on the place he was drowned. Sure sounds like him. From day 40 to day 43, I was looking at the base after coming home from my short journey and noticed that it had been redecorated to look even spookier, which for ghosts and spirits is incredibly cool. This place looks amazing.
I predicted that you would like the changes, Zozo.
Sarah, was this you? I do like it, but what was the occasion?
I wanted to invite some of my siren sisters to come live at the base. The new look is so they'll feel right at home. Is that all right with you?
Of course! If the other sirens are anything like you, then we'll all get along nicely. A while later, the other sirens that Sarah had mentioned arrived at the base. It was right at the time she had predicted that they would arrive. Hello, everyone! Make yourself at home. Friends of Sarah are friends of mine.
Thanks for being so understanding, Zozo. Living at this base together always works out when we compromise.
Sure, the more the merrier. Soon after I greeted the sirens, the farmer who was also living at the base approached me so that we could talk.
Well, hey there, Zozo. You're just the ghost I was looking to see. I have another job for you, if you're willing.
Of course, I'm always willing to help a farmer in need.
I heard from some other farmers that there is a mutant Enderman running around and ruining everyone's crops. If you could take care of that mob, you'd be helping farmers everywhere.
You can count on me. From day 44 to day 49, I took up the farmer on his request and traveled to the Taiga Mountain. That mutant Enderman who was causing problems had to be around here somewhere. But it wasn't just mobs I had to worry about. Dorian was here on the mountain too, alongside a mutant zombie.
Well, 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 if it isn't the HEROBRINE who defied me. How has the spirit been faring? You're probably close to fading away into nothingness by now.
You wish, Dorian. My ghost form has only gotten more powerful, and I will use everything I have to get my body back.
Easier said than done, Zozo. You really think getting your body back will be so simple? I was counting on your ghost to become a vengeful spirit.
Wait, what do you mean?
Do you think the restless dead can return so easily to the way they used to be? Why do you think I still carry the curse of undeath after the villagers drowned me? It's because there is no way back to life for us evil spirits.
It can't be. Have I been getting stronger for nothing?
Yes, embrace your rage and frustration. Become the monster HEROBRINE and forget about reclaiming your body. My undead will help you become what you are meant to be.
Dorian the drowned necromancer disappeared into a fog, leaving behind the mutant zombie to battle me. From day 50 to day 53, I started my battle against the mutant zombie that had been sent against me. My lightning strikes were proving effective, but because of what Dorian the drowned necromancer had said, I was starting to get worried about using my ghost powers. I switched to my sword and hacked away at the mutant zombie. I didn't use my warp or my lightning strike. It made the fight a lot harder, but I had to believe that I was more than just the monster HEROBRINE. I am going to get my body back, no matter what! The mutant zombie was defeated after a big struggle, and it dropped a spellbook once it was defeated. I took a moment to examine it, and I saw a flashback to Dorian's revival. He had just emerged from the ocean as a drowned necromancer and was looking to get revenge on the people of the world for what they did to him, casting down lightning strikes in his wrath. He researched the legends of other powerful undead beings, and he eventually came across the story of HEROBRINE. It looked like he didn't just steal my body to make me into a ghost. He wanted to make me just like the dangerous and evil HEROBRINE from the stories. Maybe then he'd finally have someone else as tortured and wicked as himself to hang out with. From day 54 to day 57, I resumed the farmer's quest to stop the mutant Enderman in the Taiga Mountain. I found the mob in the process of a rampage, and with some nervousness, I approached. Can I actually defeat this mutant Enderman without my ghost powers? The mutant Enderman sprinted at me and swiped at me with its powerful limbs. My hearts were getting low, and I was still weakened from the fight with the mutant zombie.
Is that all the great HEROBRINE can do against me? I thought you were more powerful. That's what the story said.
Believe everything you hear. I may not be the same HEROBRINE that is feared by everyone, but I am HEROBRINE myself. When I said it out loud, it made sense. I could use my ghost powers because I was the one in control of them, and I was using them to help. Take this!
Ow! Lightning strikes hurt! I thought I could be the scariest, but now I'm done for!
My ghost powers made short work of the mutant Enderman. He dropped an item upon his defeat, which turned out to be an antler headdress. With this headgear equipped, all of my attacks would gain greater knockback. What a neat upgrade! I returned to the farmer at the base and told him that I had defeated the mutant Enderman.
It seems that I can always count on you, Zozo. As a reward for getting rid of that mutant Enderman, I'll tell you a secret about Dorian the drowned necromancer.
What do you know about him?
I was there when the villagers drowned him in the ocean. His last words were a curse to everyone. He said, "Soon you'll all feel the loneliness that I have felt."
What did he mean?
I don't know, but he probably had something real evil in mind when he said it.
From day 58 to day 62, I managed to herd some more chickens into the base just to make sure we had a big enough food source for everyone. Then, I made my way deep into the underground cavern so I could do some mining for better materials. I used my iron pickaxe to dig until I struck diamonds and mined myself enough to create a diamond pickaxe. I equipped the new tool and kept mining diamonds until I had enough to craft a diamond sword, leggings, a chestplate, and boots. This new weapon and armor would serve me well in battle against the undead forces of Dorian the drowned necromancer. With my first pieces of diamond armor and gear in tow, I returned to the base, and there were now floating lanterns of ghost lights around the base. I even found that a new room had been added. Sarah had been hard at work, making our haunted house into a haunted home.
This is just my way of saying thanks, Zozo. You've really been a friend to everyone after we lost Jerry the Geomancer. I feel like I could stay here for a very long time.
Thanks, Sarah. That means a lot too, because for ghosts like us, a really long time might mean eternity. From day 63 to day 66, I was down in the underground cavern making some expansions to the mine when Victor the Vindicator Chef came to see me.
Hey Zozo, I heard that you were still looking for your original body. There's a biome nearby where you may not have looked yet.
Oh really? Well, I'm glad you thought to tell me about it, Victor. I went back above ground and traveled to the place that Victor had told me about, the Wooded Badlands. I looked around for any signs of necromancy magic or a gravestone, anything that might lead me to my body. That's when I noticed a scary Gorgon sneaking up on me.
Boo!
Hey, don't say boo to me. I'm a ghost. That's our thing.
Sorry. I thought it would be fun to startle you. I didn't mean any offense.
It seemed like she meant it. That was a relief, because I thought I would have to fight this Gorgon. You're a lot nicer than you look.
I could say the same thing about you. You're the HEROBRINE, aren't you?
Sorta. I'm the new HEROBRINE. My name is Zozo.
Zozo, huh? I'm Morgan. You could still help me with a HEROBRINE quest, right?
I think so. What did you have in mind?
Oh, you agreed! This way, a new ghost friend.
From day 67 to day 70, I followed Morgan the Gorgon through the Wooded Badlands to find out more about this HEROBRINE quest she had mentioned.
So, aren't you curious about this HEROBRINE quest of ours?
Yes, actually. I was waiting for you to tell me more.
Well, according to the scary stories about HEROBRINE, he is supposed to be the most powerful undead because of his ability to rebuild and destroy.
Rebuild and destroy?
Yes, HEROBRINE can destroy and rebuild the world however he wants, and anyone who is able to control him would be able to gain the same power.
I don't have that kind of power.
Not yet. That's why we're on this quest. You need to regain your power by facing down another being that HEROBRINE fought. That's why we're headed to the lair of the Dreadbeast.
We soon arrived at a part of the Wooded Badlands where the dangerous mob, known as the Dreadbeast, was known to have her lair. Come on out, Dreadbeast. I am Zozo the HEROBRINE, and I challenge you. The Dreadbeast soon emerged and roared with anger.
You think you're HEROBRINE? Please, I battled the real HEROBRINE in the past. You'll never be as powerful a ghost as him.
We'll see. The Dreadbeast charged in, but I knocked her back with a couple slices from my diamond sword, combined with the increased knockback from the antler headdress. She tried to resist and charge at me, but I warped out of the way and brought down lightning strikes until she was defeated. From day 71 to day 74, I thanked Morgan the Gorgon for helping me learn more about the HEROBRINE from the stories and left her to travel further across the Wooded Badlands in search of my body. I was starting to get the hang of this new spooky HEROBRINE story, and I was also starting to think it was going to end up being a pretty good one. But it's not the only story that you can find on this channel, so you should look for my other videos by typing ZO into the search bar. I arrived at a rundown structure in the middle of the Wooded Badlands. I thought it maybe had something to do with how my old body might have lived. Yeah, I can feel it. I was definitely here before I was a ghost.
But that's what you are now, so why try to go back?
Dorian, it's you.
Still chasing after the past, Zozo? You will become my HEROBRINE, and I will use your powers to rebuild a world where everyone is as lonely as I've been.
That's a terrible thing to do, and I won't let you get away with it. I tried to lightning strike him, but he was immune to the damage. When I swung my diamond sword, he struck back with his own weapon, doing far more damage than I could do to him.
Fool, you actually thought I wasn't prepared to fight you. You'll get a bit stronger, but your ghost form will still fade away. Before then, I do hope you help me achieve my lonely world. What else do you have to continue on for?
Dorian, the drowned necromancer, spared my ghostly life, probably because I was still important to his plans. One thing's for sure, I need to get stronger than he ever imagined I could be. From day 75 to day 78, I kept thinking about how I should face Dorian the drowned necromancer. He had been a restless spirit for a lot longer than me, and maybe I'd have to become just as evil as him to have a fighting chance. But I don't want to be evil. I don't want to be that kind of HEROBRINE. Seeing that I was down, Sarah the psychic siren came to my room to cheer me up.
Zozo, I foresaw that you would be sad, so I made sure to give the base an almost invisible enchanted mist so it'd be hidden from attacks. That way, nobody will disturb us without us expecting it.
That's really good, Sarah. Thank you.
Let me tell you, Zozo, in my professional opinion as a psychic, I don't predict that you'll turn evil.
I hope I can live up to your predictions. I went outside for a bit to get some air, and shortly after, Victor the Vindicator Chef joined me with a fresh new magic cake that he had just baked.
Give this a try, Zozo. I think it might just pick you up.
Thanks, Victor. I gobbled up the cake and felt a transformation coming on. I doubled in size, and my heart gauge increased to contain 80 hearts. Victor sure knows how to cook. From day 79 to day 84, I went back to the wooded Badlands to see if I could face Dorian the Drowned Necromancer again. I knew this whole thing would be over if I could just shut him down. Dorian wasn't here himself, but it seemed like he might have used some of his necromancy to mobilize a few random skeletons to fight me. With my lightning strikes, I was easily able to blow away these weak undead. I wasn't satisfied with the amount of searching I'd done here, so I examined the structure more closely. That's when I noticed doors that led to a dwelling where a pink pixie was staying. Hello there, I'm Zozo. Do you know anything about who used to live here?
Yeah, I do. There was a village here that was destroyed by storms, a blizzard, and a thunderstorm. There was only one surviving villager, and he was really alone.
Was that villager HEROBRINE?
Yeah, this is the place where HEROBRINE's story began. The land has been cursed, and plants have never grown as well here since.
It's just like that curse that Dorian put on the ocean. I've got to put the hero in HEROBRINE and find a way to lift both of those curses.
This may help you in your journey, Zozo.
Pixie gave me a netherite helmet, an extremely durable piece of armor that would certainly give me a fighting chance the next time I saw Dorian. From day 85 to day 89, I returned to my base, excited to show my friends the awesome netherite helmet I'd been given. Instead, I found a bunch of dreadliches invading my base, trying to find and attack those same friends. Oh, I can't let this slide. I don't want to overuse my ghost powers, but for the sake of my friends, it's a risk worth taking. I started firing lightning blasts left and right, destroying them quickly and dropping their morale. The rest saw my skills and took off running, but I wasn't going to let an attack on my own base slide. I came running after them, but while chasing them, I ran into a troll who seemed to be crying. As much as I wanted revenge, I didn't want to leave a clearly distressed guy on the hook like that. So I asked him what was wrong.
I've been working on my novel, but I can't seem to get through it. I'm losing confidence in myself.
You can do it, Mr. Troll. Just believe in yourself and try to get past the first draft. I'll be excited to read it when it's done.
Thank you, kind stranger. I'll never forget this.
From day 90 to day 94, I followed the surviving dreadliches into the snowy plains. It was freezing. I remembered what I had read about Dorian before. He needs to be cold. He must be hiding somewhere out here. I'm on his territory now. But I couldn't afford to worry about that just yet. I needed to track down and defeat those liches. Eventually, I caught up to them. They must have gotten exhausted and stopped. I finally had my chance. You guys are gonna pay for attacking my base.
Oh, Zozo, you're so naive! Dorian knew everything. He predicted exactly what you'd do. And now you're going to get destroyed.
You've never been able to destroy me before. What makes you guys think you're gonna be able to do it now?
Oh, it won't be us, Zozo. It'll be him.
A huge, terrifying Dread Knight stepped out, and the Dreadliches all ran off. He must have been one of Dorian's most dangerous henchmen yet. Even as a ghost, I think I'm gonna ache after this one. From day 95 to day 97, I went head-to-head with the Dread Knight, and he was as fast and as powerful as I'd feared. And as the battle went on, I was worried I might be doomed, until I got a second wind and fought back with all of my might. Soon enough, I defeated even the terrible Dread Knight, the deadliest of Dorian the Drowned Necromancer's henchmen. I'm stronger than I've ever been, but does this mean I'm doomed to become evil and end up serving that monster? But my worried thoughts were interrupted by a new discovery. When the Dread Knight was defeated, he dropped a notebook containing instructions direct from the enemy. Destroy Zozo. He is unworthy of the title of HEROBRINE. Return to the iced cave when you are done. If you need anything extra to finish the job, check the chest behind the broken boulder. So now I knew that Dorian was hiding in some kind of ice cave, and that note about the chest really intrigued me. I searched the snowy plain until I found a boulder that looked half shattered, and then I found a chest behind it. And inside the chest was a battle axe. This belongs to Dorian. I can't wait to give it back to him. On day 98, I returned to my base to tell everyone who'd helped me how all of this was going to unfold. For all I knew, it might be my final chance to speak with them. Guys, I wanted to thank all of you for how much you've helped me. I never could have gotten this far without you. This final part is so dangerous that I have to do it alone. Dorian is more powerful than ever, but I'd rather be destroyed than let him use me as an evil tool.
There's no way he'd destroy you, Zozo. You're too powerful and too good-hearted. And in the end, the good guys always win, and the bad guys always lose.
Here, here. After you defeat him, Zozo, I'll bake a mighty cake that we can all enjoy.
And I'll farm all the best quality ingredients. You got this, Zozo. I have full confidence in you.
You're all the best. I'm gonna defeat him for you, all of you, and I'm going to get my body back. On day 99, I ventured back to the snowy plains with everything I needed to finally take on the big, bad beast of a necromancer who stole my body. It's time for me to show you the door, Dorian. Didn't actually take me that long to find the ice cave that was Dorian's hideout because I spotted a large guard force of dreadliches waiting outside, keeping a lookout. Talk about an undead giveaway. There were so many of them, and they looked better armed and armored than usual. Dorian must have known I was coming and put them here to slow me down before the final battle. It's an ingenious plan. What can I do?
I think I may be of service.
I turned and saw that Morgan the Gorgon was behind me. Morgan, what are you doing here?
Sorry for following you. I was gonna yell boo again, but it didn't seem like the right moment. I feel like I've been missing out on all the action. Let me distract these undead creeps, and you can go in there and take down the big bad guy.
Sounds like a great plan, Morgan. Let's do this. On day 100, while Morgan was distracting the dreadliches outside, I entered the ice cave and found Dorian the drowned necromancer waiting for me.
You made it through my servants. How?
It's because I don't have servants. I have friends.
Oh, spare me all that self-righteous foolishness. You can't talk your way out of serving me. I brought you back. I bound you. You belong to me, Zozo, and nothing will change that.
I'm going to keep fighting, no matter what, for myself and my friends. And when I'm done, all you're going to be is a bad memory.
Then let's see. Time to go back to the void, silly little ghost.
I unleashed everything I had onto Dorian, not giving up, even as he fought back against me. I could tell as the battle went on, he was getting weaker and weaker. I pulled out the battle axe that Dorian had left for his Dread Knight to destroy me. I'm sure the void will welcome you, Dorian. And with one more strike, Dorian was no more. There was a tremendous flash, and in the moment that Dorian was destroyed, my body was returned to me. Wow, it feels amazing to be back. On day 1, I spawned in as MRBEAST, the YouTuber famous for his big money and crazy challenges. But wait, I'm so small and I don't even have a beard. I'm not MRBEAST, I'm Baby Beast. Before I could think about increasing my size or my fortune, a big mean bounty hunter came running out of some nearby woods. Uh-oh, is that a bow and arrow?
That's right, and I'm a dead shot with this thing too. I'm the toughest, nastiest bounty hunter around these parts, and you better start running, cause someone put a bounty on your head.
A bounty? What does that mean?
It means someone is gonna pay me the big bucks if I can capture you in 100 days. And trust me, it won't take 100 days, cause I'm the best there is.
Before I could say anything else, he started firing at me. The bounty hunter was such a good shot, I had to run for my life deeper into the forest. Well, he just laughed at me. Escape this bounty hunter for 100 days? Boy, do I have my work cut out for me this time. On day 2, I made my way into the closest forest I could find. I didn't stop, knowing that the bounty hunter might still be chasing me. Here in the trees, I have way more cover. It'll be harder for the bounty hunter to hit me with his arrows. Gosh, and I definitely don't want to get hit by those arrows. I only have 3 lousy hearts. I kept running, looking over my shoulder now and then to see if anybody was following me. Phew, it looks like I might have lost him. For now, anyway. That's when a huge gorilla charged out of the trees. He was buff and tough, as you'd probably expect from a gorilla. Sorry that I'm in your forest, Mr. Gorilla. I'd give you some money for it, but I'm not full MRBEAST yet. It's an emergency though. I'm being chased by a bounty hunter. The gorilla laughed.
Yeah, I know you're being chased by a bounty hunter because he hired me to help him. If I take you to him, we're gonna split the bounty.
Oh, come on, that's not fair. How can you sleep at night going after innocent people like this?
Believe me, the bounty money will help. With that money, I'll be a gorillionaire.
And with that, he attacked me, pounding me with his huge gorilla fists. I tried to fight back, but without any weapons and only my puny punches, I didn't leave a scratch on him.
Huh, this really is like taking candy from a baby.
Just when it seemed like all was lost, a donkey with a saddle came running at us out of the woods.
Hop on my back if you want to live.
So I hopped on the donkey's back, and she carried me out of there. That was close. Too close. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. On day 3, the kind donkey who saved me took me back to her secret hideout, deep in the woods. There, I met the donkey's friend, a pig who was also hiding out.
This is Napoleon. He's the smartest pig I've ever met.
Well, I don't know about the smartest, but I definitely know a thing or two.
Wait, that's perfect. If you're super smart, then maybe you can help me with my quest.
What quest is that?
I'm being chased by the meanest, scariest bounty hunter in the world, and if he gets me in the next 100 days, I'm toast.
They say the best defense is a good offense. If you don't want this bounty hunter fella to get to you, then you need to stay under the radar, get strong, and get him first.
Now that's a cool idea. How would I start, Napoleon?
You're gonna need tools, weapons, and a secret base for starters, and from there, the training will begin.
Taking Napoleon's advice, Donkey and I set off further into the forest. The bounty hunter wouldn't get me over the next 100 days, I'd get him. On days 4 to 5, Donkey and I decided to start gathering our first materials. The forest was full of trees, so it wouldn't be hard to find wood. Come on, Donkey, let's get ourselves some wooden blocks. It wasn't easy to punch down the trees, but with the help of Donkey, we'd soon broken down enough trees to make a crafting bench and some basic wooden tools. It's crafting time. I made myself a wooden pickaxe, perfect for a low-level player like me.
But why settle for a low-level tool? You'll be able to mine, chop, and harvest even faster with stone tools.
Donkey had a point. I used my wooden pickaxe to mine into the ground and collect some stone blocks. Then, with the help of my crafting bench, I created my first set of stone tools. But most importantly of all, I made myself my first formidable weapon, a super cool stone sword. Let's see that bounty hunter mess with me now. The next piece of advice Napoleon had given me was building a secret hideout. It couldn't be too obvious, or the bounty hunter would find me easily. I picked a spot between some trees and started mining downwards. Underground would be the perfect spot for my base. I built some stairs and a place for Donkey and I to sleep underground, with some torches to light the way. Hopefully the bounty hunter would never notice us here. But all this mining and crafting had worked up a hunger in me. That's when I noticed an apple on the ground. Oh, that's perfect! I picked up the apple and ate it, then something amazing happened. I leveled up, growing into a slightly bigger MRBEAST, with 4 hearts now rather than 3. This is awesome! Next I need to start growing my bank account. On days 6 to 8, I decided to go exploring the plains again. The bounty hunter would probably never expect me to go back there. Still, I didn't want to push my luck. That's why I kept a low profile, crouching and trying to sneak around as much as I could. When you're up against a crazy bounty hunter, stealth is a good skill to practice. But my stealth came under fire when I saw an innocent young gazelle getting chased by a gang of spooky husks. I wanted to stay under the radar, but I could not help someone in trouble. Get away from her, you nasty husks! I pulled out my stone sword and charged in, ready to take them all on. But the battle wasn't as easy as I'd hoped. The husks attacked back, and I was fighting for my life. One of the husks attacked me and knocked off some of my hearts. That's it, no more Mr. Nice Beast. Fueled by my determination, I fought back, and soon all the husks were destroyed. Then the gazelle came in to thank me.
Thank you, you saved me. I'll be forever in your debt.
Don't mention it, Gazelle. Is there anything else I could do to help?
Well, I was wandering across the plains with my father, Papa Gazelle, when all these undead attacked. He told me to run, but he's still trapped back there. Can you help him?
Of course, Gazelle. Let's do it. On days 9 to 10, me and the young gazelle ran across the plains, looking for her father. He had to be around here somewhere.
Look, that's him, over there.
I turned and saw the last thing I wanted to see, Papa Gazelle being chased by a wither boss. He was firing explosive skulls and barely missing the poor gazelle. Uh-oh, withers are stronger than anything else I've faced.
Please, we need to try. It's the only way to save my papa.
I couldn't say no to that, so I once again took up my sword and ran towards the wither, trying to hide my fear. Pick on someone your own size, wither. So then, he started picking on me. The wither turned and fired a flaming skull that exploded on the ground next to me. I immediately knew there was no way I'd be able to win this fight at my current strength. I'll never be able to stop the bounty hunter if I get destroyed by a wither. Feeling ashamed of myself, I ran away. I retreated back to the young gazelle. Come back to my base with me, Gazelle. We'll figure out a way to save your dad back there. On days 11 to 12, I came back to my base with Gazelle, ready to make some upgrades and improvements.
We went underground, and I mined an additional room for Gazelle to sleep in. But that's when I realized something important. An underground base is a great hideout, but if the bounty hunter finds us here, we're trapped. I need to build an escape tunnel. So that's what I started building. The escape tunnel would be an ongoing project though. I couldn't build one big enough for us all in just one day. During my day of mining and crafting, I paid another visit to Donkey and asked her what she knew about the bounty hunter and why he could have been after me.
Well, it's probably got something to do with the prophecy.
Prophecy? What prophecy?
For the longest time, humans have kept the beast down. You know, beasts like me and Napoleon and Gazelle, and humans like it that way. But prophecy tells of a human who will liberate the beasts from human control and deliver us all to freedom. The prophecies say that this man would be named Mr. Beast.
Wait, Mr. Beast? I'm playing Mr. Beast. Maybe the prophecy is about me.
That explains everything. The humans must think you're going to free all of the beasts, so they pooled their money together to hire the best bounty hunter in the world, the man who's known for being able to capture anybody. But if you can defeat him, you might be able to free the beasts.
But I wasn't even strong enough to beat the Wither yet. I needed to get a lot stronger before I could do that. In the meantime, I used my stone tools to start mining for iron underground. This would help make all my tools and weapons stronger. After a short time, I found a nice stash of iron and mined it up. And it isn't all about fighting, it's important to have food too. That's why I started adding extra chests into my underground base where I could store all the apples I collected from the forest. On days 13 to 15, I once again returned to Donkey and asked her for advice on how I could get stronger.
Well, the best way to get stronger is by training, and the only way to train is to really test yourself. Which biomes have you visited?
Now that you mention it, Donkey, I've only ever visited the forest and the plains.
There's your problem. You're never gonna get stronger if you don't master every biome. Try to defeat a powerful enemy in the desert next.
Great idea, Donkey! Before I headed to the desert biome, I needed to upgrade my equipment. I used the iron I'd mined to forge myself a new set of iron tools and some iron armor. And like Napoleon had said earlier, sometimes the best defense is a good offense, so I made myself a cool iron sword too. I'm feeling stronger already! I left my base and crossed the forest until I found myself at the desert biome. Already, this place was way nastier than the other biomes. In my new armor, the heat was killing me. Speaking of killing me, that's also when the gorilla appeared from behind and hit me.
Thought you could forget about your old pal, the Gorillionaire, huh? That's a mistake you'll pay dearly for, my friend.
What? How did you sneak up on me like that?
I have my ways. Now it's time for me to take you down. I'm gonna get that bounty.
The gorilla attacked me again, but this time I was stronger. His punches didn't do nearly as much damage against my iron armor. Now it's my turn, Gorillionaire. With a few hits from my iron sword, he was down and I'd won. That's when I saw he dropped a frontiersman cap. This lets the wearer move faster while sneaking. This must have been how he snuck up on me. I equipped the hat myself. This would be super helpful in avoiding that awful bounty hunter. Just then, I started to feel stronger and I gained another heart. 5 hearts? That's more like it. I guess the desert training was worth it. Feeling better than before, I went back to my base and continued working on my escape tunnel. We made some good progress, but I wasn't going to feel much safer until it was complete. On days 16 to 19, I decided it was time to try getting rich by exploring an underground cavern. After all, you can't be Mr. Beast without getting rich. I bet there are some great precious gemstones down here. I used my iron pickaxe to easily mine through the stone all around me, setting up torches along the way so I could see where I was going. That's when suddenly, an elder skulk crawled toward me out of the darkness.
Bet you never thought you'd see me down here.
No offense, dude, but I don't even know who you are.
I'm the Elder Skulk, and I'm working with the bounty hunter to bring you down.
Jeez, why is everybody working with this meanie? I don't get it.
Money, my boy. It makes the world go round. If you have enough money, you can do anything.
Even pay you guys to leave me alone?
Sure, but you're gonna need a lot of money to beat what all the humans are paying us to come after you. Now let's go.
But I wasn't gonna go down without a fight. As the Elder Skull came running at me, I dodged his most powerful attack and took out my sword. It only took a few choice swings to take the monster down, but at least he'd given me a new idea. If I can't beat the bounty hunter, maybe I can buy him. On days 20 to 22, I made my way back to the desert for more training. I was also gathering materials for more upgrades to my gear. That's when I got attacked by a swarm of spiders, all trying to bite and sting me. You guys are so rude. Can't you see I'm in the middle of something here? It didn't take long for me to swat those nasty insects with my sword. Then they dropped a protection enchantment along with some string. This will make my armor even stronger. I applied the enchantment and felt my confidence rising too. That's when I remembered something important. Papa Gazelle, I can save him now. As quickly as I could, I ran across the desert and returned to the plains. I saw the same sad display. Poor Papa Gazelle getting chased around by the Wither Boss, who was still firing skulls at him. I've had all I can stand, and I can't stand it anymore. It's time to take this Wither Boss out. I ran in, sword blazing, dodging every flaming skull the Wither Boss blasted at me. With one carefully aimed strike, the Wither Boss was gone. You're free now, Papa Gazelle. Go home, and I'll send your kid back to you. Papa Gazelle ran off. I'd finally gotten strong enough to free him. Maybe I could save myself from the bounty hunter after all.
How sweet. You saved the gazelle, but it won't save you.
I turned and saw the bounty hunter aiming his bow at me. How did you find me?
You weren't exactly being subtle, kid, and you should know by now, I'm the best there is.
He fired an arrow and got me square in the chest. Even with my enchanted armor, he knocked off some of my hearts. I better get out of here before he shoots me again. I ran away, zigzagging to avoid more arrows.
You can run, but you can't hide. No matter where you go, I will hunt you down. You'll never be Mr. Beast.
On days 23 to 26, I returned to my base, at least happy to have some good news for one of my friends. I found the young gazelle chilling out in the room I'd built for her. Gazelle, I defeated the Wither Boss and saved your dad. He's back at your house waiting for you.
That's amazing, thank you! I can't wait to see him again. I'll never forget this.
With the young gazelle gone back to her family home, it left me with a free room. A room I quickly started turning into an armory. The bounty hunter is a master of weapons, so I need to get just as good if I'm going to beat him. The main thing I needed was a ranged weapon, so I could fight back without getting too close. That's why I made myself a cool new crossbow. But it wasn't just the crossbow I built. I continued working on the escape tunnel. If my calculations were correct, by the time it was done, if the bounty hunter attacked my base, we could all escape all the way to the mountains. On days 27 to 31, I finished my escape tunnel and used it to travel all the way to the mountains. This will be the perfect way to get out of danger if I need to.
Out of danger, you say?
I turned to see that a snow leopard had somehow snuck up on me. I pointed my crossbow at him just to be safe. What are you doing here, snow leopard? Do you work with the bounty hunter?
What? Heavens no! The bounty hunter aligned with the humans, just like the horde of Viking villagers who destroyed my home.
They destroyed your home? That's terrible. Let me help you.
How do I know you don't just side with the other humans?
I'm not just any human, Snow Leopard. I'm Mr. Beast, the friend to all beasts. Go and stay at my base. You can take the escape tunnel. We'll make a plan to get back to your home later.
Oh, thank you, kind stranger. In exchange for your generosity, I'll tell you the location of a cave with diamonds near here.
The snow leopard marked it on my map and left back through the escape tunnel. I continued searching until I discovered the cave. And just like the snow leopard told me, there were some diamond deposits for me to mine in there. Jackpot! I'll be as rich as Mr. Beast in no time. I returned to my base, back through my escape tunnel. With all my new diamonds, I realized how drab my base looked. I crafted and added some banners and bookshelves to give it some ambiance. That's when the snow leopard approached me again.
I sense a terrible disturbance. The Vikings who destroyed my home. I believe they've invaded the forest. We need to stop them at once.
On days 32 to 35, Snow Leopard and I left the base and ventured back out into the forest, hoping to hunt down the Viking villagers who had destroyed his home in the mountains.
Look, there they are. I'd recognize them anywhere.
I looked straight ahead and saw what the Snow Leopard had seen. A group of armed Viking villagers surrounding the secret hideout of Napoleon the Pig. He was doing his best to reason with them.
I don't want any trouble, fellas. I swear. I'm just a humble pig. Leave me be.
But they weren't listening. The Viking villagers were about to attack Napoleon. I pulled out my crossbow and started blasting, hoping to distract them. Instead, it all broke out into chaos. Some of the Viking villagers ran towards me. Bird ran forward to meet and fight them. But as much as I tried to fire more crossbow bolts at the Viking villagers running for Napoleon, I was already too late. They destroyed him and burned down his hideout. Napoleon, no! This unlocked the secret rage of me and Snow Leopard. We charged in, him using his claws and teeth, and me pulling out my sword. It didn't take long for us to defeat the remaining Viking villagers.
I'm so sorry about your friend.
Perhaps humans and beasts can never live in harmony. On days 36 to 39, I needed a change of scenery to help me process Napoleon's death. I decided to make my way to the beach, sneaking all the way to make sure that the bounty hunter didn't come after me when I was most vulnerable. That's exactly the kind of mean move he'd go for. But while I was exploring the beach, I found another beast hanging around, a boar. He looked like he needed some help, and because he reminded me of Napoleon, I decided I'd do whatever I needed to. What's up, Mr. Boar? Do you have a problem that a Mr. Beast could help with?
I was fishing for some magic yellow fish in the nearby ocean, but a small group of aggressive giant lobsters stopped me.
I can take care of them, no problem at all. I found my way to the boar's fishing spot and saw the lobsters skittering around, snipping their big red claws. But they were no match for my crossbow. I pulled it out, and with a few well-placed shots, all the lobsters were gone. It felt good to be able to help someone after I'd had such a bad day. I went back to the boar and told him the good news. In return, he told me something interesting. The bounty hunter had a weakness. His powers were reduced in the dark. Thanks for the tip, Mr. Boar. That'll probably come in real handy. On days 40 to 43, I returned to my base and continued to spruce it up. I installed lanterns down the length of the escape tunnel just to make it easier to use. That's when Donkey approached me with a request.
I heard about some horse friends of mine that escaped from a human stable. Would you mind building some extra rooms for them down here so they have somewhere to be?
Of course, Donkey. That'll be no problem at all. I mined a few extra rooms and widened the entrance to the secret base so we could fit some of Donkey's new horse friends inside. The more the merrier. While the horses filed in, Snow Leopard came into my room and shared some vital information.
My snow leopard senses have been speaking to me again. There's an abandoned mine deep in the forest that I visited once. I have a feeling you may find something you're looking for there. Just be warned, it may be looking for you too.
On days 44 to 49, I made my way deep into the forest in the dead of night. I started traveling at night more often since the boar told me the bounty hunter's weakness. Soon enough, I'm gonna be strong enough to beat you, bounty hunter. Eventually, I found the abandoned mine that the snow leopard had told me about and crept inside. It was dark and spooky in the abandoned mine, so I used some torches to light the way. However, the second the torches were in place, I heard something coming towards me. Hey, who goes there? I was lucky and dodged in time, as an arrow flew towards me and embedded itself in the wall next to me. An arrow that could have only belonged to one person I knew, the bounty hunter.
Hello again. You've fallen right into my trap.
The bounty hunter stepped out of the darkness. I know about the prophecy, bounty hunter. I know why the humans paid you. They know I'm Mr. Beast, and they hate the beasts, so they want to stay in control of them. The bounty hunter laughed.
They don't hate the beasts. They're jealous of the beasts. They were born with brains, but the beasts were born with natural strength and instincts. What they really want is to harness the beast, produce something with the mind of a human and the strength of a beast.
Such a thing is impossible, bounty hunter.
Impossible? You fool, it's already happened.
Then, another thing charged out of the dark towards me. A creature I'd never seen before. A huge villager beast. A fusion of human and beast. And it was ready to fight me.
Good luck. You're gonna need it.
And with that, the bounty hunter disappeared, leaving only me and the villager beast. It was time to fight. On days 50 to 53, the villager beast ran at me, moving faster than I'd ever seen a human move before. I fired at him with the crossbow, hitting him with multiple arrows, but it didn't even seem to hurt or slow him down. The villager beast rammed into me and knocked me back against the wall, almost stunning me. I pulled out my sword and tried to fight back. It was shockingly fast and strong, managing to deflect or simply ignore most of my attacks. In the end, it took all the strength I had to finally defeat this unnatural monster. Jeez, I hope I never have to fight one of those horrible things again. When the villager beast died, it left a book marked research notes on the ground. It seemed to have been written by some kind of evil scientist, probably the one who'd first made this monster.
The tests are going well, but the subject is still far too weak. I need the bounty hunter to capture even stronger creatures if I'm to master the fusion and create the ultimate combination of human and beast. The time will soon come when I have perfected the process, and then nothing will stop us.
Uh-oh, that doesn't sound good. On days 54 to 57, I climbed out of the abandoned mine, shaken by my fight with the villager beast. It seemed that the plans the bounty hunter was involved with were so much worse than I thought. I wanted to go back to my base and warn the others, but when I left the mine, Sven the Viking, one of the strongest Viking warriors of all, was waiting for me, sword at the ready.
Well, you survived. That's impressive. The villager beast is a powerful creature, but my instructions are clear. The bounty hunter told me to destroy you if you survived and escaped, so I guess that's what's gonna happen now. Sorry!
I didn't have the time or patience to listen to Sven's babbling, so I fired at him with my crossbow. Once, twice, 3 times! But somehow, every time, he dodged. Can't we just talk this out, man? I pulled out my sword, and Sven kept attacking me. He was a strong fighter, but I'd beaten the villager beast, so he didn't seem that challenging in comparison. Once he was gone, he dropped an interesting item on the ground. Some Outback leggings, which massively increase your ability to dodge projectiles. So that's how he kept dodging my crossbow bolts. I better take these for myself. They'll probably come in handy for the next time I face the bounty hunter. After I equipped the Outback leggings, I made my way back to the base. I met with the snow leopard again, told him about all the crazy things that had happened, and showed him the book that I collected from the villager beast.
This is troubling. These writings, they seem to be the work of the Plague Doctor, a mad scientist who had theories about fusing humans and beasts to create the ultimate creatures. I thought he was gone, but he seemingly returned. This means all of us are in danger. It's worse than I possibly could have thought.
On days 58 to 62, after receiving the disturbing news from Snow Leopard about the Plague Doctor, I decided to work on improving and upgrading the base however I could. First came the escape tunnel. I built a track along the floor of the cave so a minecart could be installed. This would make it a lot easier and faster to get from one end to another. I think I'll give it a spin right now. Woohoo! I took the minecart down to the other end of the escape tunnel and ventured out into the mountain biome again. I explored the diamond cave that Snow Leopard had shown me and mined even more diamonds. I used the escape tunnel and the minecart once again to take these back to my base, where I built my first pieces of diamond gear, a diamond chestplate, and an awesome diamond sword. I ended the 4 days by building additional levels and rooms to my underground base, in case we needed to help more beasts hide from the bounty hunter and the evil Plague Doctor. There's only one way out of this, and it's with all of us working together. On day 63 to day 66, Donkey came up to me with a clever idea.
Humans have been known to use boats to travel along the river in groups. Maybe if you follow the river along, you might be able to find one of their settlements, or even find your way to the bounty hunter's new lair.
Good idea, Donkey! I'll wait until nightfall, then the bounty hunter will never see me coming. So that's exactly what happened. I waited until nightfall, then I made my way out through the forest until I found the river. Then I just followed the river along. Suddenly, I got a spooky feeling, like something was waiting nearby, and turned to see a night apparition floating right behind me. I immediately pointed my crossbow at him, not wanting to take any chances.
Wait, I'm friendly. I just need your help.
Oh really? What's going on? I'm sorry for pointing my crossbow at you, by the way. I've had kind of a rough month.
It's okay, I understand. We're all a little jumpy with the bounty hunter's men hanging around.
Wait, the bounty hunter's men? Do you know where I can find them?
Of course. They chased me out of my home in a cave nearby. I think they were looking for precious gemstones.
Then let's go fight them. I need some answers before it's too late.
Count me in.
So we ran to the nearest cave, ready for battle. On days 67 to 70, the night apparition and I ran into the cave he'd once called his home. The henchmen of the bounty hunter, 3 gold warriors, were already inside, mining at the walls with iron pickaxes. What are you goofballs doing? The 3 gold warriors suddenly turned to me and the night apparition and pulled out iron swords.
We're under strict orders from the bounty hunter to mine as many diamonds as possible. If you interfere, we will destroy you.
Why does the bounty hunter need so many diamonds? Is he really just that greedy?
No, he and his employer want all of their soldiers to have diamond swords. We'll all be stronger that way.
Oh, diamond swords like this? I pulled out my diamond sword and charged in. The gold warriors didn't hesitate to fight back. They were strong and well trained. But thankfully, I wasn't alone in this fight. The night apparition floated around the cave, distracting the gold warriors long enough for me to get the edge. Soon enough, I defeated all 3 with my trusty diamond blade. Thanks for the assist, night apparition.
Thank you for getting my home back. Feel free to take any of the diamonds those guys left behind.
Don't mind if I do. I mined the remaining diamonds and prepared to leave when the night apparition said one more thing to me.
I heard the Golden Warriors murmur something about coming from the Badlands when they first chased me out. I figured that might be useful information for you.
On day 71 to 74, I began following up on the lead that the night apparition had given me. If what the Gold Warriors said was true, I might have been able to find something I wanted there. And if what you want is more crazy Minecraft adventures like this one, search for more Zozo videos by searching ZO. By the time I arrived at the Badlands, the only structure I could see was a busted down looking camp. But that wasn't all. The bounty hunter was waiting for me.
I'm impressed. You shouldn't have survived.
I just started firing arrows at him from my crossbow, not even letting him finish his sentence. He somehow managed to dodge every single one.
Nice shots. Now it's my turn.
He pulled out his bow and fired a few arrows at me. But now, I had the Outback leggings on my side. With speed that impressed even him, I managed to dodge all of his arrows too. That all you got, bounty hunter? You're dealing with beast mode, Mr. Beast here. I pulled out my sword and ran at him. He just stood there, not even trying to dodge. But when I got close, he pulled out his close-ranged weapon, a battle axe. With one strike, he sent me skidding back across the Badlands, hitting me down to half a heart.
Guess you're not as strong as you think you are. 25 days left. You're gonna be mine before the time runs out.
Injured and surprised, I did the only thing I could, run off. I'd finish this another day. On day 75 to 78, I returned across the forest to my base. I built myself an extra room just for sitting around and relaxing, because after everything I'd experienced, I really needed to take a load off. That's when the snow leopard approached me, carrying a book. As you may have noticed, I sometimes dabble in a little bit of magic. I'm able to sense things other people can't. It's true, that is something I've noticed about you. Well, I've taken my skills in magic and used it to create this book. If you read it, you will finally unlock your true potential, and it will help you on your next steps to becoming the hero you were always meant to be. Wow, thank you, Snow Leopard. I'm honored. I took up the book and finally read it. I felt the change immediately, getting bigger, stronger, and getting an impressive 10 hearts. But more than that, I took a look into my inventory and found that it was stuffed with money. Snow Leopard, you did it! I'm finally Mr. Beast! On day 79 to 84, I went out to the desert to test out my new Mr. Beast powers. I soon encountered one of the most dangerous creatures in the desert, the sand and wind spirit known as the Guster. These things really packed a punch, but thankfully, so did I. I ran in with my diamond sword, feeling no fear, and destroyed the Guster in a single strike. Whoa, I really am strong now. My strength caught the attention of a nearby roadrunner who wanted to see if I was as fast as I was strong. He challenged me to a few races. You're on, roadrunner. We ran up and down a stretch of the desert together. I was faster than I expected, but he was way faster than that. It seemed that no matter how fast I went, the roadrunner was always just a little bit faster. But he still thought I gave him a good race, so when the race was over, he gave me a potion as a gift. A speed potion. Thanks, Roadrunner. Now I can run twice as fast. On days 85 to 89, I put my new speed to good use, running all the way back to my base, only to find that its secret entrance had been discovered, and it was being attacked by a group of villager beasts, just like the one that had attacked me in the abandoned mine. You guys aren't meant to be here. Wait, what about my friends? Thankfully, my hard work earlier had paid off. They'd all escaped through the minecart escape tunnel before the villager beasts could get to them. But those monsters were still destroying my base. I pulled out my diamond sword and ran to fight them. With my new strength and skill, the first one I attacked only took a few hits to defeat, and the rest started running. I'm not letting you guys get away this time. I started chasing them into the forest, but I was interrupted when a tiny rabbit asked for my help, finding his lost carrot. Okay, I'll help you find the carrot. Just know this really isn't a good time. While the villager beast ran away, I searched around until I found the rabbit's carrot behind a tree. I grabbed it and gave it back to him before continuing to chase the villager beasts into the distance. I was once again extremely thankful for my roadrunner speed. On days 90 to 94, the chase continued until I passed from the forest into the jungle. It was so hot and humid in there, I couldn't help but slow down a little. But this turned out to be exactly what the bad guys had planned. The villager beast had just been there to lure me to the plague doctor's most dangerous creation yet, the mutant zombie. Oh no, that thing is huge! I pulled out my crossbow and started blasting it as it ran towards me, but it still had no effect. All I could do was pull out my diamond sword and face it one-on-one. Time for an epic battle of mutant versus beast! On days 95 to 97, the mutant zombie charged me like a raging bull. I was able to dodge it just in time and stab it in the side with my diamond sword, but it barely seemed to phase it. Already, the mutant zombie turned and started attacking me again. Each one of its punches damaged me until I was low on hearts. I needed to do something, quickly. Hey, mutant zombie, how would you like some cold, hard cash? In true MrBeast style, I threw some of my vast collection of money onto the ground. The mutant zombie was immediately distracted and ran towards the cash. I guess the Elder Skulk was right. Money really does make the world go around sometimes. While he was distracted, I took advantage of my Roadrunner speed and struck the mutant zombie again and again with all of my might, until finally it fell and was defeated. The mutant zombie only dropped one thing, a map, with exact directions to the Plague Doctor's laboratory, where I'd find him and the bounty hunter. 3 days left. It's time to end this. On day 98, I made my way back to my base to make the final preparations for my assault on the Plague Doctor's lab. As I prepared, my friends from around the base came to offer me some help or words of encouragement. First came the horses.
Thanks for giving us a place to stay. You're a real beast.
Next came the snow leopard.
You can do this. The prophecy has all been true up to this point. You will defeat the bounty hunter, destroy the Plague Doctor, and liberate the beasts.
And finally, my oldest friend, the donkey.
I made you something special to bring with you. Firework bolts. These will really make your crossbow pack a punch.
With everything said and done, it was time to make my way to the laboratory and save the day. On day 99, I crossed the forest, following the directions on the map left by the mutant zombie. On the way there, I passed a turtle, minding his own business in the forest.
Good luck. I believe in ya.
Thanks, Turtle. I'm sure it'll be turtly fine in the end.
Okay, don't push it.
I kept walking, remaining stealthy, until I saw the Plague Doctor's laboratory in the distance. But this wouldn't be as easy as I thought. The building was surrounded by villager beasts. I loaded up one of my new firework rounds into my crossbow and prepared to fire. But if I missed my shot, would it lead the other one straight to me? I might have miscalculated here. That's when an unexpected old friend turned up. It was the young gazelle, who I'd saved months ago. She ran past the front of the laboratory, catching the attention of the villager beasts. They started chasing her, running away from the entrance of the laboratory. Finally, my chance! Using my Roadrunner speed, I ran straight for the door. On day 100, I entered the laboratory, crossbow loaded and ready to fire. The laboratory was eerie. It was filled with cells containing more villager beasts, who must have been the failed experiments of the Plague Doctor.
Do you like what you see, young man?
I turned and saw the Plague Doctor, and of course, the bounty hunter waiting for me.
All these wonderful creations, but they're flawed, aren't they? But you can't make a delicious meal without the best quality ingredients. And for perfect human-beast hybrid, I need the ideal subject. Once my bounty hunter has defeated you, you will be that subject. It's why I put that bounty on you in the first place.
Day 100. You made it all the way. I hope that eases the pain of being defeated.
Not a chance, bounty hunter. I'm not just some pesky human. I'm Mr. Beast. The bounty hunter pulled out his bow and prepared to shoot, but I was quicker than he was. I fired a firework bolt at him, but I didn't wait up. I pulled out my diamond sword and ran at him, ready to land a lethal blow.
Bounty hunter, destroy!
The bounty hunter immediately pulled out his battle axe and parried the blow from my diamond sword. He was a formidable opponent.
You've gotten strong. I'm impressed.
We clashed weapons while the Plague Doctor watched. I needed to keep absolute focus in order to dodge or block every attack he threw at me. I was just waiting for a window. At the perfect moment, I pulled out my crossbow and fired one of the firework bolts at close range, right into the bounty hunter's chest. He was finally defeated.
You've won. Well done. Now finish me off.
What? No, I'm not gonna finish you off. I'm going to hire you. Just like Mr. Beast, I laid out stacks of money in front of him, even more than the bounty that the Plague Doctor had put on me.
Wow, that's a lot of money. What would you like for me to do, boss?
I want you to destroy this entire lab, take the Plague Doctor to jail, and retire.
I'll make it happen, boss.
What? You can't do that! No! No!
And with the bounty hunter now doing my job for me, I decided to do the most sensible thing. Go back to my base and hang out with my friends. On day 1, I spawned in and ate my way out of a giant pumpkin as a fat dragon with 10 hearts. It looks like I'm way chunkier than the average dragon. It's okay though, because it's what's on the inside that counts. But my thoughts were interrupted by a huge fireball hitting the ground next to me. I managed to dodge it just in time and looked up to see a huge fire dragon floating in the sky above me.
Sup, Tubby? What are you doing on my turf? You know this is Chad's place. Who? Chad's the best.
Hey, don't call me mean names. And who's this Chad guy?
I'm Chad, and I rule. And when I'm flying around here, taking selfies for my red-hot fire dragon Insta, I don't want your goofy butt sitting in my background, killing my vibe.
But, you can't just call me names and kick me out.
Yeah I can. I'm Chad the fire dragon. I'm number 1. You aren't the first loser I've chased out of here, and you won't be the last, baby. It's fire time!
Chad the fire dragon blasted another fireball at me. I dodged again in the nick of time and flapped my wings, flying off into the air and escaping Chad's fire.
Yeah, that's right. You better run. Nobody messes with Chad. Ugh.
When I'd escaped Chad, I landed for a bit to breathe and calm myself down. That guy was a major jerk. Why would you be mean to someone just because of what they look like? He must be evil. My thoughts were interrupted by a big angry dread beast who thought I looked like a filling snack. Oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 no. All I could do was fly off before the dread beast pounced at me. This world doesn't seem too kind. I need to make things better around here before everyone hates on each other. On day 2, I landed somewhere that looked a little safer. At least here, nobody would start attacking me for no reason. I need a roof over my head before I can do anything else. Maybe it's time to build myself a fat dragon base. I used some of my natural dragon strength to break down a few trees. It wasn't long before I had enough wood to make myself a wooden pickaxe and a crafting table. Then I used my wooden pickaxe to dig up some stone and create a stone sword and a stone pickaxe. This is exactly what I need to build a base. But first, I need to get myself a sweet treat. I've had a hard couple of days. I've earned it. I flew off to a nearby area and found a delicious looking cake just laying around. The perfect treat. But then, a dread ghoul jumped out of the shadows and started laughing.
My fiendish plan worked. I knew that a cake would attract a perfect fat little victim, and I was right.
Oh, come on! Why is everyone here so judgmental?
It's the way of the world, fat dragon. And now you've fallen for my trap. You're all mine.
But before the dread ghoul could pounce, I flew away again, all the way back to my base to enjoy my cake. Wait, I got so distracted by the cake that I didn't even start my base. When I landed, I used my stone pickaxe and collected more resources and started building myself a basic base. At least it would give me somewhere to stay at the end of the day. I should work on a kitchen next. On day 3, I decided that I needed to make my base a little bigger. I wasn't the tiniest dragon out there after all, and I needed the base to be roomy to be comfortable in it. So I flew off to a new location to collect more resources. Of course, it wasn't going to be as easy as I'd hoped, because nothing seems to be easy around here. The second I landed, there was an angry-looking dread knight waiting for me.
Avest! Thou art a hefty dragon, forsooth! Alack, 'tis a battle! A battle, good sir.
I literally don't understand anything you're saying, but I still feel like you're being mean to me.
Thou art correct. Battle me, knave.
I was really upset about being called mean names again. Probably. So this time, I was ready to engage in battle. I attacked him with my stone sword until the Dread Knight gave up and moved away.
Thou doth won this time, dragon, but next time I will have my revenge, forsooth.
Stop saying forsooth. It doesn't make you sound cool or smart. It's just weird. With that, the Dread Knight ran away. Moments later, a different figure emerged, a big black hippogriff. Oh no, are you gonna say mean things about my weight too?
What? Heavens no! I'd never dream of judging someone based on their appearance. That's a total Chad the Dragon move. I'm Buck the Hippogriff.
Wait, Chad the Dragon? You know that guy?
Huh, I wish I didn't. He's so conceited. If he was made of cake, he'd probably eat himself. Talk about a selfish meanie.
Oh, speaking of cake, I have some back in my base. Come join me, we can share it together. I'm Zozo, by the way.
Finally, someone kind around here. You seem hungry already. I'll let you have some of my fish. And let's go, Zozo.
I'd made my first friend, and we started back to my base. Things were finally looking up for me. From day 4 to day 5, I returned to my base with Buck the Hippogriff. It felt nice to have someone who was so kind in a world that had been so mean to me. Let's build you a room, Buck. Something that really suits your awesome personality.
You're too kind, Zozo.
You were kind to me first. This is just me getting even. I started expanding my base, creating a nice new room for Buck to stay in. I even made it with an open roof so he could fly out and explore anytime he wanted.
This is an awesome room, Zozo. I'm so happy that I met you. You're the coolest fat dragon I've ever seen.
You're doing a lot to help boost my confidence, Buck. I love it. But our wholesome friendship moment was interrupted by a bunch of death worms slithering out of the ground towards me. Oh no, I need to do something about this before it ruins my whole base. I ran in and started battling the death worms. Lucky for me, in the battle of worms versus dragons, dragons normally win, and this was no exception. And once the worms were defeated, they dropped some delicious apples onto the ground. Huh, apples and worms. It doesn't normally go that way around. I stashed the apples into my inventory and went back to my base, where Buck the Hippogriff and I could hang out. With the death worms taken care of, I could work on expanding and improving my base. Yes. First, I need to make sure I have a fixed source of food, breakfast especially. I'd love some eggs. That's why I built a coop and some fences, then collected a few chickens and let them live inside. Free range, of course, because that's the kindest way to do it. It'll make the eggs taste better too. But while I was out searching for more chickens to add to my teeny tiny chicken farm, I saw the last thing I ever wanted to see, Chad the Fire Dragon. He was flying right above me, looking just as mean and arrogant as ever.
Ugh, what are you doing here, Chubby? Didn't the Chadmeister tell you that you need to get off the overworld? Maybe go to the Nether. That's where all the other weird, ugly beasts hang out. Nice one, Chad.
You can't nice one your own joke, Chad. It doesn't work like that.
Chad can do anything that Chad likes. He's the best. I mean, I'm the best. Whatever. Look at what I can do.
Suddenly, Chad started growing even bigger and stronger than before. He made even his old self look small. Oh no, you're so huge. How?
I've been getting some extra reps in at the gym. It's making me real swole. You'd know this if you followed my fire insta. Like I said, instead, you're gonna deal with my fire. Fire!
Chad blasted an even bigger fireball at me. There was no way I could fight him like this. I needed to just get out of here. I flew off as fast as I could, just hoping that Chad wouldn't follow me. Getting rid of him was going to be a lot harder than I thought. From day 9 to day 10, I sat in my room at my base, feeling terrible about all the things Chad said to me and how much stronger he was than me. How can I ever expect to stop him from being so horrible to everyone if I can't even stop him from being horrible to me? Buck the Hippogriff seemed to sense that I was upset and came in to comfort me.
Zozo, I'm so sorry about all those terrible things that Chad said to you. For what it's worth, he's only like that because deep down, he's so insecure about himself. He wishes he had the kind of confidence you have.
Those are kind words, Buck, and they do make me feel a little better. I just feel bad that I wasn't able to defeat him.
Maybe what you need is a little inspiration. Go look out into the yard and see a little something I've been working on for you.
I ran outside and saw that Buck had been working on a statue. It looked incredible, but it was early enough that I couldn't quite tell what it was yet. Wow, this is amazing. What do you think it's gonna be when it's done? Let me know down in the comments. Buck came up to me again. Amazing work, Buck. I love the statue. What's it going to be?
I couldn't give that away. And besides, there's something else you should see. I built you a base upgrade.
I looked back at my base and saw that Buck had built me a storage room. The perfect place to store all of our weapons and supplies. Buck, you're the best friend I've ever had. From day 11 to day 12, I decided it was time to rest and recover from the stressful last few days. After all, it's important to take care of yourself and take time off now and then. But while I was sleeping, I started having the strangest dreams. I dreamed of how Chad the Fire Dragon was first created. He crawled out of lava, deep underground, a dragon of pure fire.
Whoa, I'm a dragon of pure fire. This is crazy. I think I'm gonna call myself Chad. Yeah, that feels like a good name for me.
But everyone was afraid of Chad because he was so big and so dangerous because of his fire powers. Chad felt bad about everyone being afraid of him, so to cover up how bad he felt, he decided to pretend he was confident in a completely over-the-top way.
The Chadster's #1!
But because Chad's confidence wasn't real, he could only protect it one way, by being mean to others, putting them down to make himself feel better.
Everyone is dumb and ugly except me. Oh yeah, Chad is awesome, and I'm Chad, baby.
Chad developed such a reputation for being rude and mean, nobody would tell him to stop. And as the years went on, he only got more powerful. Needless to say, it was a really weird dream, but I definitely felt like I knew more about Chad afterwards. I just wish I knew how I could use it against him. From day 13 to day 15, I decided I needed to settle a few old scores to improve my confidence. This fat dragon was through with running away. That's why I flew back to where it all started, to face the dread beast that thought I was an easy snack. Now I was going to show him that fighting me was going to be anything but easy. I landed right next to the dread beast, ready to battle, with the stone sword at the ready. Let's go, dread beast. We'll see who's really feeling the dread when I'm done. The dread beast ran at me, but I didn't budge. I fought back. And this time, I won! And with the XP I got from winning, I leveled up into a bigger, tougher, fatter dragon! Chad is gonna think twice about messing with me now. I've got an entire 30 hearts and a brand new weapon, Dragon Claws. I took to the skies, happier than I'd felt in a long time. From day 16 to day 19, feeling encouraged by all my progress lately, I decided it was time to treat myself to a gear upgrade. I found a nearby mine and went underground, digging until I found some iron ore. Perfect! This is exactly what I needed! But I wasn't alone in the mine, because the perfect opposite of a fat dragon was down there waiting for me. A bunch of human skeletons! At least they don't have enough tongue to make any mean jokes about me. I defeated the skeletons, then used my iron ore to smelt and craft an iron sword and an iron pickaxe. Looks like my fighting and mining skills have just leveled up. Chad is gonna feel so jealous about this when he finds out. With all my new gear, I went back to my base, feeling better than ever. From day 20 to day 22, I was rudely awakened by Buck storming into the room.
Zozo! Zozo! You need to wake up right now! Something terrible is happening!
Terrible? Oh no, that doesn't sound good.
Quite the opposite, actually. It's terrible! Chad, the fire dragon, is waiting for you outside. I think he wants to fight.
I got up and ran outside as quickly as I could. And just like Buck had told me, Chad the fire dragon was waiting.
Hey, jabroni, it's the Chadmeister, Chadageddon, the Central African nation of Chad. And as usual, I'm happy to hand you a big steaming plate of humiliation, baby.
You may be a fire dragon, Chad, but I think you're just full of hot air. Are you really saying all this stuff about yourself because you believe it, or because you want to believe it?
Ooh, look at you, Mr. Big Tubby Head Shrinker. You think you understand the Chadster's brain? The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma. You could never even hope to understand what I'm about, and I'm actually super duper confident. You're just way too much of a loser to get that.
Sounds like you're not that sure of yourself.
I so am! Let's fight, doofus!
We charged at each other and began battling. He blew fire at me, but with my new strength since our last battle, I was able to take the heat. That's when I showed him my new claws, swiping at him again and again. He seemed so shocked that I was really fighting back that he broke away from the fight and started to fly off.
I didn't really want to fight you that time anyway. Smell you later, fat dragon!
It wasn't exactly a true victory, but I'd seen the first crack in Chad's confidence. Maybe I can beat him after all. From day 23 to day 26, I decided that I needed to treat myself to a new enchantment for all my hard work, surviving my first true fight with Chad. Given how much he'd helped me so far, I asked Buck what he thought I should do.
Seeing as you got yourself an iron sword a while back, maybe you should apply the sharpness enchantment. Who knows? It might even make your claws more powerful.
That's a great idea, Buck. You're always looking out for me. On Buck's suggestion, I crafted and applied the sharpness enchantment. All my weapons were a lot more effective after that. From day 27 to day 31, I got more good news from Buck.
Zozo, come take a look. I've been doing some more work on the statue, and I think you're going to love it.
Ah, that's so exciting. I can't wait to see. I ran out and took a look at the statue. It wasn't done yet, but it was coming along so well. Buck really had a gift for making statues. This looks amazing, Buck. I can't wait to see what it'll be when it's done.
That's actually something I wanted to talk to you about, Zozo. The statue is coming along great, but it needs something else. Think you can go get some for me?
No problem, Buck. I'll set off immediately. Buck told me what he needed and sent me off to the west. I headed out with my iron pickaxe, ready to mine like my life depended on it. It didn't take me long to find the blocks that Buck needed, but there was a wither there waiting for me. Nothing is ever easy around here. I took a few wither skulls, but soon managed to use my claws to turn the tide of the battle. Once the wither was gone, I mined the blocks and went back to my base. Buck was waiting for me. Here, Buck, take these.
Thanks, Zozo. This is exactly what I needed.
From day 32 to day 35, I went out exploring again, wanting to increase my strength and confidence. If there were any quests for me to take, I'd be happy to take them. But my confidence was shaken a little by a huge creeper spider suddenly skittering towards me. This is not how I wanted to spend today. I ran away as the creeper spider exploded, taking out a bunch of blocks beneath it, but thankfully not me. Creepers are one of those problems that take care of themselves. While I was wandering around the explosion-scarred area, I saw another strange creature, a rabbit wolf, hopping around and looking worried. Are you okay, Miss Rabbit Wolf?
The truth is, no! Things are awful right now.
Awful? Oh no! What happened? Is there any way I could help?
My friend, the rabbit, was kidnapped by the Crimson Phantom. He's a local weirdo who thinks he's a supervillain. And if we don't save the rabbit soon, who knows what will happen?
We'll never have to find out. Wait here, I'm gonna go save your rabbit friend. And with that, I flew off, ready to become a hero. From day 36 to day 39, I arrived at the location where the wannabe supervillain, the Crimson Phantom, was holding the rabbit. He was every bit as weird as the wolf rabbit had told me.
It is I, the Crimson Phantom, the Lord of Darkness. I am the most powerful and evil villain in the overworld, and nothing will stop me from taking control. I'm number one.
But isn't Chad the fire dragon number one?
Oh no, Chad, is he here?
No, he's not here. I was just talking figuratively.
Phew, that's a relief. Almost lost my cool there.
Hearing all of that gave me an idea. The Crimson Phantom may not be afraid of me, but he was definitely afraid of our mutual enemy, Chad the fire dragon. Maybe Chad can be useful for once. From day 40 to day 43, I flew out towards the Crimson Phantom and the captured rabbit, trying to look as intimidating as possible. Both of them turned to look at me as I approached.
Begone, fat dragon, for I am the Crimson Phantom, the vilest villain in all of the overworld, and this rabbit belongs to me.
Fool! I work for his Chadness, Chad the Fire Dragon, and he is extremely displeased that you're out here, tarnishing his rad name.
Oh no, please tell his Chadness I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cause any offense. I'll do whatever he wants, I promise.
You'll give up the rabbit and let her go. His Chadness requests your presence.
Of course, Wait, Fat Dragon? Chad's been making fun of you on his Dragon Insta for weeks now. You're not with him, you're trying to trick me.
You can't blame me for trying. With my plan foiled, I attacked the Crimson Phantom with my powerful claws. Despite all his bragging, he was one of the easiest enemies I'd ever defeated.
You saved me. Thank you so much. I was worried I'd never get away from that awful villain.
Don't thank me, Rabbit. You've got a friend who cares a lot about you. As if on cue, the Rabbit Wolf hopped in.
Thank you for all you've done, Zozo. Here, take this potion of swiftness. It's the least I could do. You're a true hero.
Oh, stop it. You're gonna make me cry. From day 44 to day 49, I gave more materials to Buck the Black Hippogriff so he could continue work on the statue.
Great job, Zozo! You're really pulling your weight with this project.
I'll take that as a compliment, considering how much my weight is.
I mean it, buddy. You're a kind and reliable person. Anyone would be lucky to have you as a friend.
Thanks, Buck. Now I feel like $1,000,000.
There's only one me, Zozo. Just like there's only one you.
That's deep, but you knew what I meant. I let Buck continue working on the statue and realized that I was hungry. After all the quests I'd been doing, I had really worked up an appetite. It was time to add something to the base in order to help out with that. A proper kitchen. I'd craft a couple of cooking surfaces and shelves to store ingredients. That way, I'd be able to make the most nutritious meals when I was in the mood for food. It's like they always say, never trust a skinny cook and always trust a fat dragon cook. Once I had completed the kitchen, I went back to see how Buck was doing on the statue. It was starting to look even more like what it was supposed to be. I couldn't wait to see how it would look when it was done. From day 50 to day 53, I was minding my own business at the base when Chad the Fire Dragon decided to rear his big, overinflated head.
Oh, hey, Chubster. Still your lame, roly-poly self, I see. Lucky for you, the Chadmeister decided to take some time out of his busy Insta schedule to instigate a little one-on-one conflict.
Leave me alone already, Chad. I'll fight if I have to, but I didn't wake up this morning choosing violence.
Too bad, because Chad the Cool and Rad always chooses to dunk on losers. By the way, when I said one-on-one, I meant one-on-several, because I've brought my fans with me.
It was true. Chad had rolled up with a bunch of fire guardians who listened to everything he said. They must have been followers by nature. How is it fair to outnumber me, Chad? At least fight your own battles if you're gonna be a bully.
Well, sorry. There's so much of you to go around that I thought I should bring more guys. Get up, boys.
Chad's fire guardians tried to gang up on me, but I was a fighter now, so I shredded through them with my claws. I was so focused on the fight that I almost didn't see Chad and the other guardians kidnap Buck from the base.
Zozo, win that fight and come save me. I know you can.
Buck, how low does Chad want to go in order to ruin my life? I took down the rest of the attacking fire guardians like Buck said, and I felt my confidence rising. I grew larger and obtained 60 hearts. I could also breathe out a big blast of fire. Looks like Chad isn't the only one with fire around here. With that, I also set the front yard on fire. From day 54 to day 57, I spent some time putting out the fires left over from the attack on the base. They sure did set a big part of my base on fire, but it didn't bother me that much because I could easily extinguish it. Once I had extinguished the fire, I thought about the one thing I couldn't repair. I need to get Buck back. He always stuck up for me, so I want to do the same for him. I went to the desert to go visit Miss Rabbit Wolf. I knew a thing or two about friendship. And because I helped her rescue her friend not too long ago, she would probably help me rescue mine.
I'm so sorry that Buck got taken away by Chad's henchmen. I know exactly how that feels.
I want to do something about it, but I don't know where to begin.
Why don't you try checking the selfies that Chad posts? There's got to be something in the background that could help you find out where he's taken Buck.
That's a good idea. He posts pictures of where he is all the time. It should be easy to find his evil lair from that.
You can turn his false confidence into a real weakness.
Thanks, Rabbit Wolf. From day 58 to day 62, I went mining for diamonds so I could upgrade my tools. I'm a confident dragon, and I deserve to treat myself to nicer things. Of course, not everyone in the mine agreed with me on that point. There were a bunch of warped phantoms swarming around where I was trying to dig. I could use my fire breath to scatter them, but they'd always come back. This seems like more of a task for my claws. Can't a dragon mine in peace? Once I'd cleared out all the warped phantoms, I was able to gather a good amount of diamonds from the cave. I crafted a diamond sword and a diamond pickaxe, both of which would come in handy when the time came for me to go rescue Buck from the clutches of Chad. From day 63 to day 66, I was looking at the unfinished statue and feeling sad that Buck couldn't be here. The two of us had been working together on the statue for a long time now, and seeing that it was unfinished was a reminder that without him, I'd never see what the statue could become. I thought about working on it myself, but that wouldn't do any good. Buck is counting on me to rescue him from Chad. I couldn't back down from facing that terrible bully. For now, the statue needs to wait. Hang on, Buck. I'm gonna find you, wherever you are. And if you want to find more of my awesome adventures, make sure to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so you'll always be able to. From day 67 to day 70, I found a place that looked a lot like where Chad the Fire Dragon took many of his selfies. The Crimson Gardens were definitely red, like one might expect for a fire dragon, and there also seemed to be a huge lair designed to show off. That's gotta be Chad's pad. As I approached, I noticed that there were a bunch of fire guardians hanging around outside. My guess had to be correct, since those mobs would do anything for Chad's attention, including trying to keep me out of Chad's pad. I knew I was looking at a fight if I tried to get past them. Hey, you guys, is my friend inside there? The fire guardians said nothing and charged me all at once. I knew fire breath wouldn't do any good against creatures of pure fire, so I stuck to melee attacks. Thanks to my increased health, even fighting this many fire guardians wasn't much of a problem. It was true that I'd gotten even bigger and stronger since my other fight with Chad's minions. I'm not just fat, I'm large and in charge. I was able to battle my way through the inside of Chad's pad. I just knew my friend was in here somewhere. From day 71 to day 74, I explored Chad's pad and fought off more of the fire guardians as I did. This base is gigantic. Chad must really enjoy having a lot of space that he doesn't need, all to himself. While I was sneaking around, I saw Chad. He must have been finished taking selfies in a nearby room. Oh yeah, Chad rules! The camera loves Chad, and so does everyone else. And Chad! He seemed to be really into his routine at the moment, and it felt awkward to interrupt him. I came here to rescue Buck, not to pick a fight, so I just let him continue bigging himself up. Of course, I couldn't help myself from sneaking some potions of healing from one of his pad's chests. He won't miss it, and besides, he's hurt me enough times that one little potion is the least of what he'd need to do to make up for it. From day 75 to day 78, I managed to find the dungeon where Chad had been keeping Buck. It was time for a good old-fashioned prison break.
Zozo, you made it! I always knew you had it in you, friend.
Thanks, Buck. It was hard making it all the way here without your kind words, but I was still able to do it because I've got confidence in myself now. I used my fire breath to destroy the bars of the prison, setting Buck free.
Nicely done. Now let's get out of here. Whoa, who said you could leave? Chad didn't, and if Chad didn't, it doesn't matter who did. Chad.
Oh no, it was Chad! There was only one thing I could think of to make sure that Buck would be safe from this kidnapping bully jerk. Get out of here, Buck. I'll catch up with you after Chad and I have a talk. With that, Buck ran off, leaving me alone to take on Chad.
Like Chad would talk to you for any reason other than reminding you that you're totally stupid looking.
Actually, I meant talk as in fight. Let's work things out like dragons with our claws and fire breath.
Can't get enough of Chad's fire breath? Okay, you asked for it.
Chad breathed his fire blast at me, but I returned with my own. He was surprised that I could do what he did, but that made sense because he always underestimated me. We started to fight with our claws, and even more than the previous time I was holding my own. I got several good hits in on him before he started to show a little bit of nervousness. What's the matter, Chad? Not able to pretend as well as you normally do?
As if Chad needs to pretend. I'm the real deal, lame-o. Check this out.
From day 79 to day 84, Chad flexed his dragon muscles and totally hulked out into a super beast of a dragon!
Oh yeah, Chad was already the best, but now you can say hello to the even better, super mega ultra deluxe Chadmeister Supreme!
Yikes! I didn't expect he'd have another form!
Chad totally could have beaten you in his regular form. Chad just didn't feel like it.
Right, so he transformed for absolutely no reason at all. I'm really not sure I believe you, but I'm also really afraid of your new form. I ran away as fast as I could. Behind me, I could hear Chad laughing and calling me more mean names. We would see who would be laughing the next time we met, but this time it was definitely Chad who would be laughing. From day 85 to day 89, I returned to base and found that Buck had already made his way back there before me. I was really glad to see him home. The base had not felt the same without him.
Did I miss anything, Zozo? I was gone for a long time at Chad's pad. That fire dragon was so annoying and talking about himself the whole time. I'm really glad to be back.
I'm glad to hear it, Buck. Sorry you had to go through all that.
It wasn't all bad. I did manage to swipe some relaxation supplies from Chad's relaxation room. I bet we could turn these into a room of our own.
That sounds awesome. I love relaxation. I got to work on upgrading the base with a brand new relaxation room, while Buck chose to make up for lost time and work on the base's statue. I made sure to put all the right details into the relaxation room, including lots of couches for Buck and I to lounge around on. I bet both of us will really appreciate the work I've done on this room after Buck is done putting together that statue. When I was done with the relaxation room, I went to see the statue and found that it looked absolutely incredible. It was only a statue of me, but I never looked at myself so proudly before.
Remember how you feel about yourself at this moment, Zozo. That confidence in who you are, recognizing your own best qualities, is the key to defeating Chad.
I did almost have him last time, but he's got this new super duper form now, and I think he's gonna knock me out the next time I see him.
In that case, you just take what you already like about yourself and make it even more powerful. There's a spell you can cast that will bring your inner strength to the surface. Show him who you really are!
From day 90 to day 94, I sought out the Book of Spells, which was said to contain a spell that would bring my inner strength to the surface. It was located inside of a deep cave that was full of wither spiders. There was a time not so long ago that I wouldn't have dared to fight for myself, especially against such powerful mobs. But if what Buck said about this spell was true, then I couldn't wait to get my inner strength on. I'm becoming more like who I want to be every single day, and there's nothing that some bully can say that would make me feel like I'm less than that. The wither spiders had powerful attacks and could shoot deadly wither skulls, but with my chubby body and huge amount of hearts, I could withstand equally huge amounts of damage. Big is beautiful! I burned the spiders away with my fire breath and found my way to the book of spells. This must be the right one. I'll read it when I get back home. From day 95 to day 97, I was back at base, preparing for my showdown with Chad. I was determined to use everything that I had in order to win this fight and overcome that bully once and for all. I knew that I'd be having the fight at his place, so instead of doing any sort of upgrades on my base, I focused on what I would need to do to fight at my best. Potions are the way to go. I can drink a lot of those at once to give myself an advantage. First up was a standard potion of strength to increase the damage of my claws attacks. Second, I chose a potion of regeneration so I could get even more use out of my high amount of hearts. And the third potion that I picked was a potion of fire resistance. Chad is always bragging about his fire, but this should take the heat off of me. On day 98, I decided to relax so that I wouldn't stress out too much about the impending fight I was going to have with Chad. I couldn't let him get into my head, so I made sure to fill my brain with fun and positive feelings. And if you want to feel fun and positive too, you should type ZOZO into the search bar so you can find more of my videos. Also, while it's just us relaxing, go ahead and leave a comment about what I should be next. On day 99, it was time to settle my score with Chad once and for all time. I walked through the Crimson Gardens and straight inside Chad's pad. That mean and nasty fire dragon himself was lying in wait, and he was still in his tricked out new form.
Back for more, you little dragon tender? Chad is better than Chad has ever been. This new form is totally awesome, and definitely better than anything you could do.
I now understand why you decided to take that form, Chad.
'Cause I'm a beast like that?
No, it's because you have something to prove. You may have scared everybody else, but I was able to rattle that fake confidence of yours. You're the one who is actually scared, Chad.
What? No, you don't know what you're talking about. Chad is the man, or the dragon man. Actually, I'm just a dragon.
Yes, and I'm just a fat dragon who's got inner strength. I downed my potions and used the Book of Spells to cast a spell of power and unleash my inner strength. My heart rose to 100, and I now had a mighty tail slap attack. Ready to throw down, Chad.
Chad is having second thoughts. I mean, now Chad's the best. Chad will take you on in any form, Tubbo.
The fight began, and I whipped him with my new tail slap. He tried his fire breath, of course, but I was resistant. Your fire can't hurt me anymore, and neither can your words. I gave him serious claw strikes and even more tail slaps. Then I unleashed my own fire breath.
No way. You can't be fire. Chad is fire. Chad is fire as fire.
Not anymore. Then I tail slapped Chad one more time, and he was done bothering me. On day 100, I was once again relaxing at the base with Buck the Black Hippogriff. Chad won't bother me or anyone again. I really taught him a lesson.
You sure did stand up for yourself, Zozo. And you never let anyone tell you who you should be or how you should look.
You said it, Buck. I'm the best at being me, and that's what counts, more than anything else. On day 1, I spawned in as a Pokemon Creeper. Creeper. Oh, thank goodness. I was worried for a second I'd only be able to say my own name. That takes some of the sting off being a baby with 5 hearts. I checked my inventory and found that I had a Pokédex guidebook. This would help me recognize all the other Pokemon I encountered. I looked at my surroundings. I was in some kind of forest. Not quite the Kanto region, but I could still explore. Further into the forest, among some tall grass, I discovered some more creeper Pokemon, just like me.
Creeper.
Oh, I guess you guys aren't so talkative. That's fine. I'm sure I can find a trainer who will talk to me. But instead of a friendly Pokemon trainer, instead, a really scary bug-type Pokemon called a Deathworm popped out of the ground. Let's get out of here, guys.
Creeper.
We scattered off into the forest to avoid the Deathworm. I hid out behind some trees for the rest of the night. On day 2, I ventured out of my hiding spot, convinced that the Deathworm was gone. I hope I don't run into one of those again. Guess it isn't easy being a creeper Pokemon, but at least I wasn't alone in being a creeper Pokemon. While I was wandering around the Forgotten Forest, I found an evolved creeper Pokemon. Oh wow, is that what I'm gonna look like when I evolve? I couldn't be more excited.
Creeper.
Well, even if I'm a baby creeper Pokemon, at least I can talk. But I couldn't stand around for long. A deadly fire-type Pokemon, the Cockatrice, came out of the trees and attacked. It breathed a jet of fire onto my new evolved creeper friend, destroying him in an instant. And if it could do that to an evolved creeper, I'd be in real trouble. I ran away as fast as I could. Later, I arrived in the lush red desert, far, far away from the cockatrice and the deathworm. Here, I could maybe build myself a home. Let's get building. I found some trees and knocked them down, collecting enough wood to make myself a wooden pickaxe and a wooden sword. These are pretty useless, but I guess everyone has got to start somewhere. With my extra wood, I started building my own wooden base to give me shelter from the elements. It felt nice to finally sleep indoors for once. On day 3, I went out to the meadows, wondering if I could beat some more Pokemon who wanted to come stay at my base. Instead, I found something even cooler, a Pokemon trainer. I ran over to him, so excited to finally have someone I could talk to. Hey, I'm Zozo. I'm a creeper Pokemon. It's so cool to meet you. Oh wow, a Pokemon that can talk. You don't see that every day. I haven't seen a Pokemon trainer here yet either. Maybe we should team up.
I'd love to, but I think I might need to become a more experienced Pokemon trainer before we can truly team up. But when I get there, I'll know where to find you. It wasn't exactly what I wanted, but it was a start. I started to head back to my base and used my wooden pickaxe to dig up a bunch of stone, which I used to improve my base and build myself a stone sword and a stone pickaxe. Before the day was out, a Pokemon called a Zoglin attacked me, and I was able to easily defeat it with my stone sword. After I defeated it, it dropped some rare candy on the floor, and I quickly collected it. This candy will come in handy later. From day 4 to day 5, I woke up and felt ready to eat that delicious rare candy I'd collected from the Zoglin the previous night. It's been a long week. I think I've earned a little treat. The second I ate the rare candy, I felt myself evolving and getting stronger. I got bigger. I now had 30 hearts and a brand new attack to use on enemy Pokemon, Fire Breath. Whoa, it looks like I'm a fire-type Pokemon too! I spent the rest of the day in the Mojave Desert, which was even hotter than the one around my base. It was sandy everywhere, so I collected some sand blocks to use later. Then, I ran into a sandwich.
Hey there, little creeper Pokemon. I actually saw a few more of your kind not far from here. You should go see them.
So I did. I searched around until I found a little group of creeper Pokemon just like me. I was so happy.
Creeper.
Yeah, creeper. How about you guys come and stay at my base? Us creeper Pokemon should stick together for safety. We returned to my base in the lush red desert and found that a wither was waiting outside. This wasn't good. Stand back, guys. I'll deal with this. I ran in and used my new flame breath to destroy the wither. Being a fire-type Pokemon was a lot of fun. From day 6 to day 8, I met up with the Pokemon trainer again, and we went exploring together, searching for some food. And not long after finding some, we went into a nearby underground cavern to do a little bit of mining. It's super dark in here. Don't worry, trainer, I can light the way. I breathed a jet of fire and lit up our way, seeing some iron ore in the blocks beneath us. I grabbed my stone pickaxe and started mining until I collected some ore. We built a furnace in the underground cavern and used the ore to create an iron sword and an iron pickaxe. Now I'm stronger than I've ever been. With our new equipment in hand, we went to the oasis to relax and spent some time in the sun next to the nice cool water. But not everything was so peachy in the oasis. We were suddenly attacked by a giant monster known as the Hydra. Even with all my new equipment and my fire-breathing power, I couldn't hurt him at all. Get out of here, Zozo. I'll take care of him. You need to get to safety. So I did, because it was all I could do. My Pokemon trainer and the Hydra fought until, in the end, neither of them remained. No! I started heading back alone. I felt so terrible. I'd lost everything. But on the way back, I ran into a friendly Myrmex queen.
Hello, little creeper Pokemon.
Hey, sorry if I seem a little down right now. I just lost a friend of mine.
Goodness, you can talk? That's incredible. I didn't know creeper Pokemon could talk.
Me neither. I might be the only one.
Well, if you lost your friend, perhaps I'll come stay with you. You shouldn't be alone on a night like this.
I would love that, Myrmex Queen. The Myrmex Queen and I returned to my base, and I created a new room for her to stay in. It was nice to finally have someone to stay with me who could actually talk. From day 9 to day 10, I woke up to find someone waiting outside my base. It was a huge, scary-looking Dread Knight, and he was here for me. Who are you?
I'm your worst nightmare. I'm the strongest Pokemon gym leader in the overworld, and that Hydra you and your friend destroyed, that was one of my prized Pokemon.
It destroyed my friend, and it attacked us first, too. How could you blame us for what happened?
Don't pity yourself. Not yet. When I'm done with you, you're gonna have something to really pity. Mark my words, you sad little creeper Pokemon. I'm going to get you.
And then he was gone, leaving me confused and afraid, not knowing what would happen next. From day 11 to day 12, I was woken up by the Mermex Queen. She seemed incredibly excited to see me.
Zozo, I know that losing your friend was very hard for you, so I made you something that might help you process what happened. Come and see.
I came out and saw what the Mermex Queen had created, a memorial for the fallen Pokemon trainer, so we'd always be able to remember him. This is amazing, Mermex Queen. Thank you. Let's go traveling together. We went out to the orchard, where I hoped I might be able to find some food that would make me stronger. Instead, we just found an angry siren who didn't want to have our company. Being attacked while just going on a walk really gets me fired up. I breathed fire on the siren, defeating it, and the Mermex Queen and I continued searching for ways to get stronger. That's when we met a friendly troll, and I decided to ask him.
Wow, a talking Pokemon. That's exciting. If you want to get stronger, you can seek out Professor Oak. He's an expert when it comes to Pokemon, and I've heard he's got a clinic somewhere out in the meadows.
Professor Oak? Now that sounds like an idea. I'll need all the help I can get to be strong enough to defeat the Dread Knight. Wanna come stay at my base in the meantime?
Sure, that sounds like fun.
We went back to my base with the troll, and I built a new room for him to stay in. I wasn't so lonely now. From day 13 to day 15, I went off into the meadows to seek out Professor Oak. If that Dread Knight guy really was after me, I needed to get evolved as quickly as possible. While traveling through the meadows, though, I got attacked by a terrifying dragon-type Pokemon, the Lightning Dragon. There's no way I'm ready to face that thing. The Lightning Dragon was heading straight towards me. I tensed up and prepared to get destroyed, when suddenly a huge energy blast struck the side of the Lightning Dragon, defeating it and saving my life. When I turned and saw who fired the energy blast, it was just a tiny little pixie. I immediately ran over to thank her. You saved me there. I'm Zozo, and I'm so grateful for the help you gave me. If there's anything I can do, please let me know.
I'd always do whatever I can to help out a kind stranger. But sadly, I used up the last of my magical power to defeat that dragon. Do you think you could go and defeat the ghost-type Pokemon who's been haunting the meadow?
After the way you saved me there, it's really the least I could do. I traveled further into the meadow until I saw the spooky ghost type floating around. Thankfully, the undead hate fire, and with my fire-breathing power, I was soon able to defeat it. This ghost is toast. I then returned to the pixie to give her the good news and ask her if she knew anything about Professor Oak.
Thank you for the help, Zozo. Professor Oak is out of town on a research trip at the moment, but he'll be back in a week or so.
Thanks for the heads up. At least I was able to help here in the meantime. With that valuable info, I turned and started heading in the direction of my base. From day 16 to day 19, I returned to my base, only to find it was being attacked by a deadly Gorgon. I saw the friendly troll who told me about Professor Oak running at her, trying to defend the base. But it was hopeless. She destroyed him in one hit. No, Mr. Troll, you monster! I ran in to battle the Gorgon for what she'd done. I tried to hit her with my sword and my flame breath, but neither seemed to have an effect. She just laughed at me.
You sad little creeper Pokemon. Is that all you've got? Wow, the Dread Knight is wasting his time even sending me to destroy you. I've got better things to do. Later, loser.
With that, the Gorgon left, leaving me in the ruins of my base with another friend gone. At least I still had the Mermex Queen, and she came to comfort me.
Don't worry, Zozo. We'll get back at them. And in the meantime, we'll repair the base and build back better.
I took the time to extinguish the fire around my base. Then, I returned to the underground cavern, mining more materials so I could make myself some iron armor. I can't afford to be unprotected right now. By the time I got back to my base, I found something exciting. The Mermex Queen had invited over a bunch of Mermex workers. They'd not only built a whole barracks for them to all live in, they'd also built a watchtower for us to keep a lookout for any more of the Dread Knight's henchmen. I ran over to the Mermex Queen to thank her. This is amazing, Mermex Queen. It's starting to really look like a base here.
You know what would make it even more like a base? A super cool statue.
That's an excellent idea. And in fact, I know exactly what to build. From day 20 to day 22, I was wandering around the prairie, looking for new friends and potentially new upgrades and gear. Instead, I found an angry dread scuttler. I really don't want to deal with this today. I defeated the dread scuttler with my iron sword and proceeded to collect a bunch of blocks that I could use to start building the statue. You'll never guess what it is. On my way back through the lush red desert to my base, I found a few sheep wandering around and decided to herd them back to my base. I built a paddock to house them all. This will be perfect for gathering wool for making banners. That's when the Myrmex Queen came over to me with some good news.
Hey Zozo, I got started on your statue, and I think it's coming along nicely. But it's gonna need those new materials you gathered next.
I'll add them right away. I ran in and continued work on the statue, getting it just a little further along with the new materials I'd collected. Can you guess what it is yet? Let me know down in the comments. From day 23 to day 26, I returned to the meadow, hoping that this time I'd get a chance to speak with Professor Oak. He's gotta be back from his research trip by now. Just then, from out of the grass came an Enderman, a really dangerous Dark-type Pokemon. It swiped for me with its long arms, but I dodged and drew my sword. Prepare for battle! I used my Fire Breath attack to weaken the Enderman and finished it off with an Iron Sword strike. Before I could celebrate, 2 more Endermen jumped out and tried to pick up where the first one left off. I defeated them both with some difficulty. Not much later, I found a rare Ghost-type Pokemon known as a Ghast. Ghost types are weak against Dark types, so it must have been hiding from all the Endermen out here. Hey, Ghast, it would be safer if you came to live at my base. There are lots of friendly Bug-type Pokemon there now.
Hey, no thanks, Creeper Pokemon. Let's ghost hunt alone.
Then the Ghast vanished into thin air. I guess he was serious about being alone. I went back to searching, and soon I found a man in a lab coat standing in the meadow. Are you Professor Oak?
Why yes, I am the famous Professor Oak, world-renowned Pokemon expert. And who might you be?
I'm a creeper Pokemon, but I can talk. My friends call me Zozo.
Well, I've certainly met talking Pokemon before, but it's always an ultra-rare occurrence. Where's your trainer anyway?
That's the problem. I don't have one right now. I was hoping since you're a Pokemon expert, you could train me so I could become stronger.
I don't see why not. I've been meaning to do more research on creeper Pokemon regardless. Let's get started.
On day 27 to day 31, I trained with Professor Oak in order to increase the power of my moves in battle. I could definitely feel that my base stats were becoming stronger. You're not just an expert professor, you're an expert trainer.
My work is almost done here, Zozo. You'll be a fighting machine after you complete the last challenge of your hyper training.
If it means being strong enough to face the Dread Knight, I'll do whatever it takes.
Very good answer. Now I will present you with your challenge. You must defeat a Wild Ravager. It is a fighting-type Pokemon known for its merciless attacks. It will be a formidable foe, but if you're ready and you believe in your training, you should be able to win.
I won't let you down, Professor.
Here are some super potions that might help you recover your hearts in the battle.
Thanks! I went to where the Wild Ravager could be found and took on the Professor's challenge. Using everything I had learned so far on my journey, I battled the Ravager. It was a tough fight, and the Ravager's fighting moves were very strong. But I was strong now too, and I managed to hang in there and retaliate with some attacks of my own. I was down to low health, but I still managed to get the win. Good thing I had those super potions. From day 32 to day 35, I told Professor Oak that I had defeated the Ravager. He seemed very impressed with my progress.
Very good, Zozo. You are one powerful creeper Pokemon now.
Thanks, Professor. You really believed in me.
And you believed in yourself too. That's half the battle.
What's the other half, Professor?
Battle. Now take this league badge to prove that you've got what it takes to be a champ in the making.
All right! I decided to return home to base to tell the others the good news about my training. I had made it all the way back to the Mojave Desert when I saw the Ghast from earlier, and they were in trouble.
Help! Help! An evil gym leader is trying to capture me!
Evil gym leader? That sounds like… Oh no, it is! The Dread Knight was here! I didn't expect that I'd run into him so soon.
Stop running away, Ghast! I'm trying to add you to my Pokemon team! A spooky ghost type would make an excellent addition!
The Dread Knight didn't see me yet. I could sneak up on him and attack. But what if I lost? I might have earned a league badge, but he was still a gym leader. For now, I have to retreat. Sorry, Ghast. If only you'd listened to me before. A little later, I was at the Oasis, still trying to find my way home, when I ran into a giant pig Pokemon, the Piglin Brute. No problem, pigs are usually normal type, so this should be a cinch. But it wasn't as easy as I expected. The piglin brute had so many hit points, and its attacks felt like critical hits. Oh no, am I too weak to fight this Pokemon too? I ran away from the battle and continued on for home where I thought I'd be safer. I couldn't believe that I was still so weak after all the training I did. From day 36 to day 39, I arrived home safe and sound, except the base wasn't safe or sound. It was being attacked by the Gorgon again. Oh no, last time I fought her, I barely did any damage.
We meet again, Zozo. Have you come home so you can lose to me again?
No way! If I don't step up and beat you now, the Myrmex Queen and all the others will be in danger.
Suit yourself. I'm going to enjoy this.
We began to battle, and once again, my fire breath and sword attacks were not very effective. And that's when it hit me. Gorgon must be a rock type, and that's why she has such high defenses. But there's one way to deal with rock types, a fighting type attack like Rock Smash. I unequipped my sword and attacked with my fists like a fighting type. Somehow, it actually damaged her.
What? I'm hit? Enjoy your victory while you can. You still aren't worth the trouble.
Gorgon left the base. I guess my training with Oak did pay off. The Myrmex Queen approached me, looking proud.
Zozo, you're back, and not a moment too soon. I just heard there was a power bracer in the lush red desert. If you could get it, you'd be able to upgrade your attack power to the next level.
That sounds like just what I need. We should go find it. I took Myrmex Queen with me, and the two of us went to the lush red desert to search for the power bracer. We didn't get far before we encountered another wild cockatrice. They must be really common for fire types. There was a villager in danger of getting scorched, so I stepped in to help out, striking the cockatrice down with my sword. Thank you for protecting me. You're one friendly Pokemon. Here's a map to the beach where you can find some treasure. Gee, thanks. We said goodbye to the villager and kept searching through the desert. We found the power bracer without needing to worry about another fight.
Great job, Zozo. Now let's return to base and get it equipped.
I got excited and I tried the power bracer on. It fit like a glove and I could feel the power already. We went back to our base afterwards. From day 40 to day 43, the Myrmex Queen and I decided to do a little bit more traveling. That villager we saved the other day had told us about a beach where we could get treasure, and that sounded just too good to pass up. The map we were given showed us the way to where the treasure was. We decided to take a route back through the Forgotten Forest, and that's where we encountered some more ghost-type Pokemon, a horde of skeletons. Hasn't the Dreadnought been catching ghost-type Pokemon? I'll bet these are his.
They can't beat us if we work together, Zozo.
Together, the Myrmex Queen and I reduced the Dreadnought skeletons to a bunch of bones. With all the upgrades I had gotten, it was no sweat. It looks like there was one we missed, and it's getting away. But I guess running from stronger Pokemon is what you'd expect them to do. We made our way out of the Forgotten Forest and into a rocky beach. This must have been the place where the treasure was. Sure enough, there was an open mining pit with a whole bunch of diamonds, ripe for the taking. Sweet! From day 44 to day 49, I was back home at my base, doing some training exercises by myself when Myrmex Queen showed up. Hi, Myrmex Queen!
Hi there, Zozo. I've done a bit more of my part to the statue. Do you mind adding some details to it when you get the chance?
Sure, I can actually do that right now. I went to the statue and began to add some special blocks in order to really make it look good. You can almost tell what it's going to be now. It'll be really exciting when it's complete. I worked on the statue for a bit longer before I noticed that a traveling trader had come to provide us with some hyper potions for the price of some emeralds.
These are some quality potions. You can trust me. Better than super potions, that's for sure.
We were running very low on healing items. I didn't have any emeralds on me, but luckily the queen had some and brought them from storage. That should do it. I bought the potions and thanked the trader for his service. The base was attacked again, right after he left by another dark Pokemon, a Wither. Good things I've been practicing my fighting moves. Hi-ya! Take that, evildoer! The Wither was defeated, but I knew I had to make sure the base was more defensible against enemy attacks. So I went and built a perimeter wall that would make it way more difficult for intruders to get in. From day 50 to day 53, I was collecting more supplies in a nearby prairie when one of the Myrmex workers from the base came and found me. He told me that the Myrmex Queen had been captured by a Pokemon trainer. Probably not a very nice one either. The Myrmex Queen was a good friend to me, so I knew that I had to go search for her. But I also knew that I would need some help. I decided to go talk to the smartest person I knew, Professor Oak. He was an expert in all things Pokemon, and he might know what kind of trainer I'm looking for too. Fortunately, he happened to be close by and researching the local Pokemon. Professor, please, I need your help.
What seems to be the trouble, Zozo?
The Myrmex Queen was captured by a Pokemon trainer, and I need to find her.
That is rather troubling. I would suggest looking for the bug catcher. He's the kind of trainer that specializes in capturing bug-type Pokemon.
That sounds like it's worth a shot. Thank you, Professor. The professor had given me a clue I could use to possibly find my friend. I would save her no matter what, even if I had to fight more skeletons. Speaking of, oh boy! There were some more of the Dreadnight's ghost-type skeleton Pokemon hanging around, but at this point in my journey, battling them wasn't much of a challenge. This time, I defeated every one of them all by myself, and one of them dropped another rare candy. I had better hang on to that for later. From day 54 to day 57, I was in the Mojave Desert again, searching for the bug catcher who might have captured the Myrmex Queen. The bug catcher took my friend. They must be the worst. And as if on cue, the Dread Knight jumped out.
I wouldn't say that. After all, they can't be worse than me. I'm the worst of the worst.
Dread Knight, what are you doing here?
I like tormenting you. Everyone knows that it is always best to capture a Pokemon when it's weak.
Not as weak as I used to be, and now I'll show you! I gave the Dread Knight a few good hits with my sword. He didn't seem to be that hurt by it, but I could tell I was doing a bit of damage.
You do have some fight. I guess I'll have to weaken you a bit more before I capture you.
He countered with a strong attack that took off half of my hearts. I wasn't going to defeat him at this rate, but at least I had put a scratch on him. Time to run away! I escaped from the Dread Knight and definitely didn't want to have another fight so soon. Fortunately, I found the same friendly villager who told me about the treasure. Have you seen a bug catcher anywhere? Now that you mention it, I think he was in the prairie not too long ago. Try over there. Thanks. I went to the prairie, but I didn't find the bug catcher or the Myrmex Queen. I did find a bug catching net on the ground and one of the Myrmex Queen's eggs. Oh no, it's true. The bug catcher has captured my friend. I wanted to go after him, but there was no sign of which way he went or where he might be now. From day 58 to day 62, I returned to my base, frustrated by the lack of leads when it came to rescuing the Myrmex Queen. The Myrmex workers were worried sick about their queen. I had to set a good example, so I went mining for some stronger materials. I found more diamonds, and with these and the treasure I found on the beach, I was able to create a diamond helmet and diamond boots. With my remaining diamonds, I crafted a diamond sword to match my armor pieces. I knew they'd be much more useful if I enchanted them, so I built an enchanting area into the base so I could do just that. These diamond armor pieces will really boost my defense stats. I went back out searching for materials because items are just as important in Pokemon battles as abilities are. The underground cavern I was exploring was dark and full of rock and ground-type Pokemon. It also had a hidden treasure in the form of a battle axe. I gave the axe a few swings, and I could already tell how strong it was. I could do some really damaging moves with this thing. The battle axe worked really well on the rock types in the area, so I know it would prove effective on Gorgon too. I returned above ground to base and found that the Ghast was waiting for me.
I have escaped to the Dread Knight, and I have some news for you.
What kind of news?
I've heard that the bug catcher is trying to become stronger so he can fight the Dread Knight. He's trying on the coast right now.
That actually helps. You're welcome to haunt the base. I'll be back later to help you settle in. For now, I'm gonna go save the queen. From day 63 to day 66, I gathered my strongest equipment and items and prepared to leave. While I was still there, Professor Oak showed up.
Hello, Zozo. Take this charged coal. You'll know when the right time to use this is.
Thanks, Professor. I might be gone for a while, so watch the base for me until I get back. I headed off in the direction of where the bug catcher was training. Like most Pokemon trainers, bug catcher seemed to move around a lot. Hopefully, I would reach where he was before he moved on to a new region. I didn't stick around too long in any of the places I went before, but I did encounter a wither. Let's try out that charcoal. The charcoal made my fire attack stronger, and I was able to wipe out the wither in a single fire attack. Wow, Zozo! That was an impressive fire-type attack. Do you think you could help me light up the fireplace in my house? What are friends for? The villager showed me his cabin at the oasis. I lit the fireplace up so that he could get comfortable and stay warm. That was really helpful. I'll sure to do something nice for you next time, friend. From day 67 to day 70, I found the bug catcher on the rocky beach, and the Mermex Queen was with him. It looked like they were both in the middle of a Pokemon battle with the Dread Knight's skeletons. Mermex Queen, I traveled all this way to save you from the bug catcher.
Zozo, a friendly face! Give me a hand dealing with these skeletons!
I swung my diamond sword over and over at the skeletons, destroying them one by one. I am the Creeper Pokemon! Fear me! While Mermex Queen and I battled, some of the skeletons snuck up behind the bug catcher and took him out.
Well, so much for that trainer.
Didn't he capture you?
No, I went with him to try and trained to fight Dread Knight on my own.
You were training, like me?
I thought I could solve your problem for you, but I'm sorry for worrying you.
We're back together, and that's what matters. Nothing can keep friends like us apart. Now let's take apart the rest of these skeletons. With our combined strength, Mermex Queen and I finished off the skeletons. The last one to fall dropped a spell tag, an enchantment which gives ghost-type power to items. I should use this later. From day 71 to day 74, I returned to the base with the Mermex Queen. We were greeted by Gast, who had decided to stay after all, and had even built a place for himself.
Looks like the rescue mission worked out.
Sure did. The Mermex workers have their queen back now, and it looks like the base is now feeling a lot more like home.
Thank you for letting me live here, even though I said I didn't want to at first. Do you want to see the place I built?
Sure thing. The Gast took me to his ghost-type Pokemon room. It was full of spooky things and sort of made me want to eat candy. This looks awesome!
Professor Oak has also decided to move his research lab into the base. You should go see.
Sure enough, Professor Oak had created a place for himself inside the base.
I'm going to get so much work done here. Your base is very advanced, Zozo.
Wow, everyone has really stepped up their crafting game. I'd better do the same. I went mining for some more diamonds to complete my set of diamond armor and tools. I used the spell tag that the skeletons dropped to enchant my diamond sword with ghost-type energy called Lifesteal. When it was finished, I went to the outside of the base where the villager was waiting for me. Hey, Zozo, I decided I'd come over and say hello. Hi, villager! From day 75 to day 78, I followed the villager back to his cabin at the oasis. I had a feeling he was going to repay me for that time I helped him. Here, Zozo, I have a gift for you because you've been so nice to me. I knew it! I mean, thanks! It's a moonstone. Try holding it and see how your power evolves. Oh, super awesome! I held the moonstone and instantly learned some more powerful moves to use in battle. I went outside and battled a few cockatrices to test out my powers. My fire breath had leveled up into a fire blast attack. Even fire types can't take the heat now. From day 79 to day 84, I made some minor improvements to the base. Now that everyone was calling it home, I had to make sure that everyone was taken care of. There were some spare materials lying around, so I crafted a set of iron armor for the Mermex Queen.
Wow, thanks, Zozo. I guess I'm a bug type and a steel type now.
You've always helped me in battle, but now you'll have stronger defenses for when we fight the Dread Knight's stronger minions.
I'll do my best in our next battles. Thank you for thinking of me.
After I finished talking with the Mermex Queen, I realized that improving the base had left me short of some key materials, so I went searching for them. While I was out in the Rose Fields, I encountered a familiar, unfriendly face. It was the Gorgon!
Your armor and weapons have changed, but you're still weak.
What do you know, Gorgon?
I know a lot more than you do about everything, including what Dread Knight is going to do next.
What is he gonna do next?
He'll become a Pokemon Master, of course. An evil Pokemon Master. Once he's done trying to capture weaklings like you.
You can call me weak all you want, Gorgon, but I don't need to prove anything to you. I'm going home. From day 85 to day 89, I left the Rose Field and returned to my base, where the Dread Knight was lying in wait.
Gorgon told me I needed to end our little cat and mouse game. So I've come here to capture you, once and for all.
If it's a battle you want, it's a battle you'll get! The Dread Knight attacked with his usual opening move, but I was ready for it, so I dodged. I struck him back with my ghost-enchanted diamond sword. It seemed to deal some real damage.
A ghost weapon? Well, that's new. Guess I don't need to hold back.
His next strike was a brand new move I had never seen before. It left me completely defenseless. Oh no, what should I do? Then I remembered I was still carrying the charged coal that Professor Oak gave me. Maybe if I used it correctly, I could evolve. The last time I needed a rare candy for that, and I have one. I know, I'm gonna use them both at once! I activated the rare candy and the charged coal together, and suddenly I evolved into a brand new creeper Pokemon form with 80 hearts!
Evolution? And so strong as well?
I believe we have a battle to finish!
Some other time, Zozo.
The Dread Knight deployed his skeleton minions and ran away, but I was eager to test out my new powers on the Horde. I had a new signature move called Falling TNT, which dropped exploding TNT blocks on enemy Pokemon. Those skeletons were dust, and the base was completely safe. From day 90 to day 94, Murmex Queen had almost completed the statue that she had been building the entire time. Wow, it's amazing, Murmex Queen!
It'll be even more amazing after you add the finishing touches. I have confidence that you'll make this statue look as incredible as I know it will. No pressure.
It took a lot of materials, and I had to mine for more several times, but in the end, the statue stood triumphantly over the base. It was a statue of Arceus, the mightiest and most ancient creator god of all Pokemon. I am humbled to be in your presence, Arceus. Next on my list of things to do was help Professor Oak become stronger so that he could help me fight against the Dread Knight. I decided to give him a potion of strength.
Thank you. And speaking of potion, you should go get some more healing potions from that merchant. We have a few more emeralds, and that should be enough to seal the deal.
Good idea, Professor. This time I purchased Max Potions, the strongest form of healing potion available. From day 95 to day 97, I went back to the Rose Fields where I met Gorgon that one time. Her taunting distracted me, so I wasn't able to search the whole biome for materials. Uh-oh, it looks like some other ghost types are here. Zombie Pokemon! There were zombies everywhere, but because ghost types were actually weak against other ghost type attacks, my ghostly diamond sword was the perfect weapon to thin them out. That's right, shamble away! I continued to use ghost type attacks on the ones that got into melee range and used my falling TNT attacks to reduce their numbers. Eventually, I had defeated or driven away all the zombies in the Rose Field. When the battle was over, I noticed there was a special sword stuck into a stone. It was a netherite sword, and it was charged with even more ghostly power than my diamond sword. Oh, this is just what I was looking for. I took the sword with me and began to walk home to my base. On day 98, I was confronted by Gorgon just outside of my base.
This stops now, Creeper Pokemon Zozo. You have gone from a minor annoyance to the one thing that is stopping Dread Knight from becoming a Pokemon Master. I'm going to end you here and now for his sake.
Well, it was nice knowing you, Gorgon.
What?
I'm feeling like a one-hit KO! I drew my fighting battle axe, knowing it would be super effective against Gorgon, and with one single slash, I defeated her! Critical hit! Now that I'd defeated Gorgon, I knew the battle with Dread Knight would be coming, so I built the perimeter wall a bit higher and gathered my max potions.
Has the time arrived for you to face your destiny, Zozo?
I don't know about destiny, but I'm definitely ready to take down the Dread Knight.
Then allow me to come with you. That way I can record what a fully evolved creeper Pokemon looks like at its most powerful. After you win, of course.
And I will! The professor and I left the base, and soon we were on the road to the Dread Knight's evil Pokemon gym. This had been quite a journey, and if you want to see more of my adventures, remember to search ZOZO to find more videos and subscribe so you can always know when I upload next. On day 99, we arrived at the Red Rock Highlands, which is where we found the Dread Knight's evil Pokemon gym.
The challenge will begin as soon as we enter his lair. Are you still ready to face him, Zozo?
From the moment I spawned into this world, I knew I'd have to fight. I'm ready as ever, Professor.
And let's head inside.
Suddenly, the Professor and I were ambushed by more of the ghost-type skeletons. Not these guys again! They surrounded us. These must have been the highest level Pokemon that the Dread Knight has. I could handle them myself, but Professor Oak was a professor, not a Pokemon. He was in serious trouble.
Go on, Zozo. This may look like a troublesome situation, but I'm Professor Oak. I've seen far more rare and dangerous Pokemon than this and survived. The only thing that is different this time is that I don't want to slow you down.
Professor!
Go! I'll manage somehow. Go defeat Dread Knight. He must not become an evil Pokemon Master.
I didn't want to leave the professor, but I could tell that he was serious, so I braced myself and ran directly into the gym, where I would soon come face to face with the Dread Knight. On day 100, I was face to face with the Dread Knight.
Oh, it's you, Zozo.
No more running, Dread Knight, for either of us. No matter who wins or loses, this will be the last battle that we ever have. I'm not backing down.
A Pokemon cannot hope to stand against a master. I will show you the true meaning of fear. You don't have a ghost of a chance against me.
No more puns either. We clashed weapons, and I was glad that I brought my netherite sword. It was the perfect weapon to use in this battle. I was able to make the Dread Knight move back out from melee range and launch my Fire Blast attack. Now that had to hurt.
It's not very effective, you foolish creeper Pokemon.
Rats! I thought I had him.
I'm going to use my own signature move now. See if you can dodge it.
The Dread Knight created a Shadow Ball, even more powerful than his skeleton guards, and he launched it straight at me. I dodged out of the way, knowing that one hit from that would KO me.
Say good night, Zozo. Get it? Because I'm a knight.
That's your worst pun yet, Dread Knight.
It was Professor Oak. He had come to help. He threw a Pokeball, and instantly it absorbed the Dread Knight's power.
Now's your chance, Zozo. He could only use that move by becoming a ghost type himself. Strike him down.
Right, take this, Dread Knight. I delivered the final blow with my netherite sword. With the battle finally over, I was a free Pokemon. Oh, I guess Professor Oak would be able to come up with quite the Pokedex entry for this creeper Pokemon.